D1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. Nobody in Kansas City has sports like 96.5 The Fan.
Right side throw, touchdown! Kansas City, a 3-yard touchdown pass in overtime. Kansas City wins the game.
Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
Back-to-back best sports talk hosts as voted on in the Pitch magazine.
Live from the Fan Studios. Here's CDOT.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You were listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Excited to be here with you on this wonderful, wonderful Thursday. We have a lot to get into in today's show. Coming up in about 15 minutes or so, we're going to be joined by friend of the show, Matt Verderam of Sports Illustrated. Coming up at 3 o'clock, so in exactly 1 hour, we are going to be joined by James Palmer of Bleacher Report. He does fantastic work covering the National Football League. We got a lot of stuff to get into. We got Thursday Night Football. We need your help. Are we calling Thursday Night Football the Unk Bowl, or are we calling it the Icy Hot Bowl? We got two quarterbacks who are both over the age of 40. You don't get that very often in the National Football League, so we are trying to figure out what the official name for tonight's Thursday Night Football game is. We're going to talk a little bit of college football. We got a lot to get into in today's show. We also have somewhat of an update about Josh Simmons. We'll get to that here coming up momentarily. But before we do that, I need you guys to do me a couple of favors. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. Number two, I need you to tell one friend to check out the show. I mean, it'd be great if you could tell two people to check out the show, but you know what? If you could just tell one person to listen to this radio program, I would greatly appreciate that, and I would appreciate you. And last, and this might be the most important, I need you guys to remember that the open of the show is brought to you by our friends over at The Other Place. If you're looking for a spot to watch the Unk Bowl coming up later today, maybe the Icy Hot Bowl, if you're looking for a place to grab yourself something to drink, something to eat, you want to hang out on a patio and watch a little Thursday Night Football, then look no further than our friends over at The Other Place with 5 area locations sprinkled all across the Kansas City metropolitan area. So we have a little bit of an update on Josh Simmons. I don't know if I would consider this to be a major update, but it is something. Nate Taylor earlier today was on Fesco in the Morning. He'll be on our show tomorrow, so we'll get more of an opportunity to talk to him about this. Now, Josh Simmons did not practice yesterday. I do not believe he is going to practice today. I don't think that Josh Simmons is going to play this week for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I don't know if that's a day-by-day, week-by-week thing. He is not currently with the team. It is one of the major storylines right now surrounding the Kansas City Chiefs. Nate Taylor of ESPN was asked about this. This is what he said.
I do believe it's a family matter. I do believe, Josh Simmons is back in like the Southern California, San Diego area, which is, his hometown. I had the responsibility yesterday, not to ask Andy Reid because I've done that already, but to really ask Patrick Mahomes, like, hey man, have you talked to this guy? Patrick was very honest on Sunday saying he didn't know where Josh was. And that, it's not every day the starting quarterback has to go to the coaching staff and say, where's the left tackle? And the coaching staff really doesn't have the best answer for your franchise quarterback. So when Patrick Mahomes said yesterday that he's praying for Josh Simmons, I think we all need to take that cue from the quarterback. And, I'm fearful, I guess, is probably the best way I can explain what I've heard.
I've told you guys that I'm not here to speculate on what it could potentially be with Josh Simmons. I don't think that is responsible. I trust Nate Taylor's reporting as much as I trust anybody's reporting. He says it's a family matter. I do think there is a measure of respect that should be shown to a person's private life, a person's family matters, and when they feel like they are ready to talk about this and discuss this, you have all the freedom and latitude to do that on your own time. This is the one question I'll ask about this, and maybe your answer is they don't owe us anything, which is a fair response to this. Why didn't the Chiefs come out and say that in the very, very beginning if that's what it is? If we are talking about that Josh Simmons is away from the team for the next 9 days, give or take, to deal with the family matter, it feels like releasing a statement at the very beginning of the week that all parties agreed to would have ended this conversation from the very, very beginning. But they have allowed conspiracy theories, they have allowed rumors, they have allowed people's opinions and ability to kind of run wild with this thing. And in some ways, it has taken a life of its own. If it is a close personal family matter, that can be a wide range of things. If that's what it was, I don't know why the Chiefs just didn't release a statement. Josh Simmons releases a statement. We see athletes do this all the time on their Instagram where they type something up, they then screenshot it, they then post it. I'm dealing with a family matter right now that has caused me to be away from my team. When things have resolved itself, I'll be back playing the game that I love. I feel like at least some of the fire, I don't think the fire is out of control by any means, but I do think that some of the conversation about this would have ended on Sunday if that had been the case. Some of this conversation would have ended on Wednesday if the Chiefs had released that statement when it came to Josh Simmons. So at least for me right now, I think the story is somewhat put to bed. Now, we do need to ask the question of when he is going to be back. If it's not going to be this week, is it going to be next week against the Commanders? That feels like a conversation that we can resume on Wednesday when the Chiefs get back to practice. But if you have not practiced on Wednesday or Thursday, I don't think you're going to practice on Friday. I think it's safe to say you are not playing this week. So let's reset. We'll be back next Wednesday when the Chiefs have a Monday night football game. They have a little bit more time off to take care of your business and potentially come back and get back to playing football for the Kansas City Chiefs. So it is obviously a situation that we are going to monitor with Joshua Simmons. But if Nate Taylor is saying that he believes it is a family matter, I'm willing to leave it at that. I think that is the right thing to do. I think that is a very fair thing to do when it comes to Joshua Simmons. I was wondering this, and I was talking to Rob today as we were getting ready for the show, kind of looking ahead to Sunday's matchup against the Las Vegas Raiders. I was wondering this. I said, Rob, what is the Chiefs' record since the Christmas Day loss a couple of years ago? You guys remember, I would say now it's somewhat of an iconic picture. It is Taylor Swift in a Santa hat. It is Brittany Mahomes in a Santa hat, and they just look like the Grinch came and stole all of their Christmas gifts. Hey, what was the Chiefs' record at that point? I had just forgotten. The Chiefs were 9-5 going into that matchup on Christmas Day, and they got really handled by the Las Vegas Raiders to the point where the Chiefs got booed at home on Christmas because of how poorly they played. The Raiders in that game scored a defensive touchdown. That is about as bad as I've seen it in the last 18, 24 months, however far you want to go back. And it was almost like the Chiefs needed that loss to kind of refocus themselves, and they have been on an absolute tear ever since. So I saw Rob, he went over there, he was typing away at the keyboard. Since that Christmas Day loss, the Chiefs have gone 20-5 since then in the regular season. They were 9-5 heading into that matchup, 9-6 leaving that matchup. I don't know what was going on with the Chiefs at that point. Very up and down, very inconsistent, but it almost was like a turning point when it came to this team, this organization, and putting them on this path where they have been the best team in the National Football League, give or take. Maybe you want to argue it's been Philadelphia for the last 18 months of the NFL calendar. So, Rob, as we turn the page on the game from Sunday night against the Detroit Lions and we look ahead, I think we have to kind of go back just a bit to that Christmas Day game as a real turning point for this organization where the Chiefs were kind of at a, hey, what kind of team are you going to be? I also think it was very, very important at that stretch for the Chiefs. If you remember at the time, they heavily leaned on Isaiah Pacheco. They had Travis Kelce and Rashee Rice really started to develop and blossom. And the Chiefs, along with that defense, really rode those three offensive players, really rode the defense up to that point and stopped turning the football over and really focused in, and then went undefeated the rest of the way, and then won 15 regular season games last season. We talked about a team that could have potentially gone one way, and we have seen a lot of organizations, when you kind of meet that fork in the road, go one way. It feels like in some ways that's kind of where Philadelphia is right now as an organization, where things can go one way or the other. That Christmas Day game is a very important game in Chiefs history, where I don't know what sparked in the Kansas City Chiefs, but they became a very different organization after losing that game on Christmas.
I have a couple of more stats just if you want, because after that game, if you include the postseason, The Chiefs are 26-6 since that game, with a Super Bowl championship and 2 AFC titles. 26-6. I remember that day on Christmas Day. It felt like it was going to be a coronation. Hey, everyone's opened their gifts. They're sitting around, the fire. It's a nice day in Kansas City. Arrowhead's full. Taylor Swift is there. We've talked to Patrick Mahomes since it. They had a little Christmas party planned at the house after the game. It felt like, oh man, the Raiders are just chum, and the Chiefs are going to move to 10-5, and everyone felt like, here we go again. And Aiden O'Connell didn't pass for a single yard in the second half, and yet the Chiefs lost. But 26-6, if you include the postseason, since that moment. I think you said it perfectly. There are forks in the road, and you either go left or you go right. The Chiefs use that as this is never happening to us game. We're never getting embarrassed like this. We are going to refine our focus, our energy, our fire, whatever, and never let that moment happen again. A lot of teams, that moment crumbles them. The Chiefs, it appears to have brought them closer together.
Coming up on the other side, we'll be joined by Matt Berteram of Sports Illustrated. A lot happening right now in the National Football League. We'll cover the top stories and also get you ready for Week 7 Chiefs and Raiders. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5. The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is coming to Missouri. On December 1st, you'll finally be able to bet on all your favorite teams and all your favorite sports. With FanDuel, there's a ton of ways for you to get in on the action. You can bet everything from the money line to over-unders to which team will win it all. You'll be able to build parlays, bet player props, or even ride the live line. Whatever your style, FanDuel has you covered. Plus, with live betting, you can pick which player will score the next touchdown or the touchdown after that. However you play your game, FanDuel's got your back. On December 1st, you'll be able to see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. With FanDuel, there's a ton of ways for you to get in on the action. FanDuel, play your game. FanDuel Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, Zach, are you smiling at my gorgeous canyon view?
No, Donald. I'm smiling because I've got something I want to tell the whole world.
Well, do it. Shout it out.
T-Mobile's got home internet.
Whoa, I love that echo. T-Mobile's got home internet.
How much is it?
Look at that, Zach. We got the neighbor's attention.
Just $35 a month. And you love a great deal, Denise.
Plus, they've got a 5-year price guarantee. That's 5 whole trips around the sun. I'm switching.
Me too.
Yes, T-Mobile home internet for the neighborhood.
Donald, you still haven't returned my weed whacker.
Carl, don't you embarrass me like this, please.
What's everyone yelling about?
T-Mobile's got home internet.
And Donald's got my weed whacker.
Yes, T-Mobile's got home internet. Just $35 a month with auto pay and any voice line. And it's guaranteed for 5 years.
Beautiful yodeling, Carl.
Taxes and fees apply. See T-Mobile.com/ISP for details and exclusions.
Hey, Mr. C, it's me. Well, I just picked up the ring. I actually went to Hellsberg. Thanks for that recommendation. Kate's gonna love that hers is from the same jeweler you got Mrs. C's ring from. They were so helpful throughout the whole process. They even knew your family by name, and the ring looks great. Anyways, I just couldn't wait to let you guys know. Call me back and wish me luck.
Hellsberg, designed with care and craft since 1915. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
When your reputation's on the line, you don't leave anything to chance, especially your primer. Painters trust Kills primers for a smooth start, strong adhesion, and serious stain-blocking power. Now, the full lineup is only at the one place pros rely on. Need it fast? Get same-day or next-day delivery, or order online and pick up in-store. Kills primers, exclusively at the Home Depot. If you're a pro, you know.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things. Like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed.
From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Your favorite neighborhood spots run unsquare. You know the ones. Maybe it's the popular shop that just opened a new location by you, or the big sports bar that's always packed on game day. These places make the neighborhood, and the money spent there stays in your community. Square powers more than 4 million neighborhood businesses worldwide. To learn more, go to square.com, or just stop by your favorite local business. See you in the neighborhood. Square.
At Straight Talk, we get it. You say no a lot.
Mom, can I get a tarantula?
No.
Coffee?
No. So we're giving you more reasons to say yes, like a free 5G phone with real unlimited data with select plan activation.
Can I use the free phone?
Yes. See? Doesn't it feel good to say yes to more?
Absolutely. Face tattoo?
Absolutely not. Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Taxes and fees apply. In-store activation of Gold Unlimited plan or higher required. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
Morning, Zoe. Got donuts.
Jeff Bridges, why are you still living above our garage?
Well, I dig the mattress, and I want to be in a T-Mobile commercial like you. Teach me, Saldana.
Oh, no, I'm not really prepared. I couldn't possibly. At T-Mobile, get the new iPhone 17 Pro on them. It's designed to be the most powerful iPhone yet and has the ultimate pro camera system.
Wow, impressive. Let me try. T-Mobile is the best place to get iPhone 17 Pro because they've got the best network.
Nice, Jeffrey.
You heard them. T-Mobile is the best place to get the new iPhone 17 Pro on us with eligible trade-in in any condition.
So, what are we having for lunch?
Dude, my work here is done.
With 24 monthly bill credits on experience beyond for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits ended. Balance due if you pay off earlier or cancel. Finance agreement iPhone 17 Pro 256 gigs, $1,099.99 and new line minimum $100 plus a month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data 1H2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
I'm Jordan Robinson, host of the new podcast, The Women's Hoop Show. Each episode, I'll be joined by a rotating group of women's basketball experts to talk WNBA, college hoops, the new Unrivaled League, and the shifting landscape of the sport. The game is growing, and so are we. Listen to and follow The Women's Hoop Show and Odyssey podcast, available now for free on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Juju Smith-Schuster from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by a friend of the show, Matt Verderam, to go through some of the top stories right now in the National Football League. Matt, it's been a while, man. How have you been?
Been good. How are you?
Doing fantastic, man. Let's start with this. Two things. We asked Patrick Mahomes this. We have to ask you this as well. Number one, what is the word that you struggle with spelling? My word is convenience. I have no clue how to spell convenience. I just try to get close, and I let spell check take over. What's that word for you?
That's funny because I would give you the same word. That word just every time. I try to spell it different every time, and every time I'm wrong. Convenience just – psycho is another one too that, like, I know how to spell it, but if I'm typing it fast, anything like psycho, psychology, I always end up, like, mixing, like, one of the letters up the wrong way.
One last of these kinds of questions. Who is your favorite fictional football player? Mine is Tim Riggins from Friday Night Lights.
I'm literally in the middle of watching Friday Night Lights again, and I've seen it before. So I'll give you a different one. Tim Riggins is a great call. Man, fictional. I mean, I'll go. I'll stay in the same ballpark. I'll stay with Smash Williams of the same show. So we got the backfield covered.
Okay, no, absolutely. Are you more of a Lila Garrity or a Tyra Collette type?
I mean, can't really go wrong, but I'll go Lila.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure. You got to ask these kind of questions. I love the show, so I just got to always check to see where you are when it comes to this. All right, a lot to get into. Let's start with this. You're very plugged in when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs. What are you hearing regarding Josh Simmons?
Honestly, there's not a lot out there. I've done my due diligence. I've poked around. I've texted with some people, and I think that the basic word has been there's a lot of uncertainty. Now, to be honest and to be very transparent, this is something that's it's a personal matter with Simmons, and anybody you're going to text in and around the team is going to be very cagey with this, and understandably so. Everything that we know is, look, he left on Sunday morning. We're back to California. It's reportedly been a family matter. I don't have any reason to believe that's not true. But obviously he's still not back in Kansas City. I think the big question right now, and I don't know the answer to this despite trying to find out, is, how much of this are the Chiefs aware of? Like, how much are they, how in communication are they with Josh Simmons? Do they know the full extent of whatever it is that's going on? Because I think, at least, especially in the beginning of the week, there's kind of a question of, like, how much do even they know? Now, listen, that is obviously something that can change minute to minute, hour to hour. They may have a full picture by this point, but they're supporting him. They're obviously working to get him back with the team. But it is a personal matter that at this point there's not a lot of clarity on what's going on.
Why didn't the Chiefs just come out and release a statement like that from the very, very beginning if it's a family matter? So that is what Nate Taylor is reporting. That's what he's hearing. It's a family matter, which is certainly understandable. You don't have to do a press conference to explain something that's going on with your mom or your brother or your sister. I think most people respect that. But I feel like the Chiefs have kind of let this kind of cloud of mystery circle around this story when you could have just came out, said it was a family matter, and I think a lot of the questions would have went away until Josh Simmons comes back.
So I'm actually going to go a little bit different here, but kind of in the same realm what you're saying. I actually think his agent's done him a disservice. The agent should have said something, put out a statement. He's rep by a big agency. Like, I think you put out a statement saying, if you're the agent, look, Josh is dealing with a family matter. He's in California. Timetable for return is unclear, but he'll be back as soon as it feels ready or it's resolved, however you want to word it. I think the team is hesitant to do it because you don't want to say something that the player feels is insensitive. You maybe also don't want to put the player in a position where you feel like you're airing out any of his business. And if you're having, and I don't know that this is the case, but if they're having a hard time communicating with him, or they were, then also, you don't want anything to get misconstrued. But look, there's no question that the lack of communication about what is going on has led to a lot of people, understandably, trying to connect dots and speculate. Look, I think that can be irresponsible at times. I also think it's human nature. And right now, I mean, he's been playing at a Pro Bowl level. He's a first-round pick. He's a left tackle for Patrick Mahomes. That's going to be a story. He's not the 53rd guy in the roster. He is a starting left tackle. So, it's an unfortunate situation. You hope he's back soon. You hope everything's okay. But, yeah, I mean, the lack of communication on the agent's part, the team's part, has left a lot of speculation to be had.
Right now, we're talking to Matt Verderame about the top storylines with the Chiefs. We'll get to some of the national storylines here coming up in just a minute as well. I've really tried to stress this week that I'm curious to get your thoughts on. I don't think Jalen Moore is getting enough credit for what he just did on Sunday Night Football. I think it would have been certainly understandable for him to not play on Sunday. He had a baby earlier in the day. He hasn't been playing, hasn't been getting practice with the ones. It would have made a lot of sense for him to just be on the inactive list because he is with his family. For him to not only leave his family, but come play at an incredibly high level and look like he's going to start this week, that takes a consummate pro. I wanted Jalen Moore really highlighted this week for doing this when I think there's a lot of players in the league that wouldn't have played on Sunday Night Football. There's no question.
Jalen Moore deserves a ton of credit for everything you just said, Karen. Like, he had a child, his wife had a child in the morning, and he played that game with really no notice. I mean, the Chiefs did not know who was going to be the left tackle until a handful of hours for game time on Sunday. I mean, it wasn't like this was something going into the weekend. They knew. They didn't have any clue. Josh Simmons was just gone Sunday morning. So they had to figure that out, and they're asking a guy who just had the birth of his child that, hey, man, you had no first-team reps, as you point out. Go out there and play. That is an extremely, extremely difficult thing to do. I mean, he played no left tackle reps in training camp, none in the preseason. They put him out there. Obviously, of course, he played there for San Francisco in limited action while he was with the Niners. To go out there and be asked to guard to block Aiden Hutchinson and do it mostly on an island and to hold up the way he did, look, I'll tell you one thing. That is going to earn him an immense amount of respect in that role. You're going to have guys in there who are like, that guy is somebody I want in my foxhole. Because you're right. I mean, a lot of guys would have just said, hey, look, my kid was born this morning, and maybe even if they played, they wouldn't play particularly well. They're just for him to come in and play like that, I don't think there's any question. That is something everybody in that locker room is going to respect the hell out of Jalen Moore for.
Right now, we're talking to Matt Verderam with the top storylines right now with the Kansas City Chiefs. We had Mitch Holtis on the show a couple of days ago, and I asked him, what does it mean for the Chiefs offense to get Rashee Rice back? And he said it's like adding Deebo Samuel to an offense in the middle part of the season. Now, Deebo, I think, is a little bit on the high end, but I think the sentiment is I don't know if there is a team in the league that is going to add a player of this caliber in the middle of the season in the entire National Football League. When you take an offense that is trending in the direction that Kansas City has, and now you give them potentially their best offensive skill position player, we're talking about a team that could potentially be top 5 offensively by the time the year is done.
Oh, look, I mean, Rashee Rice is the best weapon on the team. Xavier Worthy is great. Hollywood Brown, Juju, they played well this year. No question. Tyquan Thornton's played well. And, of course, Kelsey, to his credit, he's tracking for nearly 1,000 yards. But Rice is the weapon on this team. There's no doubt. He was on a monster pace when he hurt his knee last year. And I think if you look at the Chiefs, look at the last 3 weeks. I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but they have averaged over 30 a game. Yardage totals, I believe, are something like 411 on average for the last 3 weeks. Well over 20 first downs on average over the last 3 weeks. I mean, this is a team that they're operating right now as a top 3 offense in the last month. And now you're bringing this guy back. Look, this, to me, as long as they can continue to block, whether it's Moore or Simmons at left tackle, or regardless, whoever it is, as long as they continue to block the way they're blocking, and credit to Kingsley Suamataia, who has been awesome the last 3 games. If they do that, they're going to score a ton of points. I mean, there is nobody stopping them from throwing the football. They have too many weapons, and not only do they have weapons, but they work together in tandem really well, and that is something that I think maybe gets a little underplayed. You got Worthy, who can run kind of not the whole route tree, but he can do it. He can do the short game. He can do the long game. Then you've got Hollywood, who can certainly run deep, but also has more of an intermediate route game. Rice kills you on the intermediate game. That's where his bread and butter is. And then Thornton is the ultimate deep ball guy. It's like you got a lot of guys who can just stretch you horizontally, stretch you vertically, and catch the ball and beat you man-to-man, beat you in zone, beat you with speed, beat you with size. It's a lot. And Rice is the best of all of them. Like, I think this is the first time since 2022 when Mahomes won his second MVP where when I watch them offensively, I just expect them to score. I don't care where they are on the field. My thought is they're going to score a touchdown, and it's bared out in the numbers. Only the Colts have scored on a higher percentage of their possessions. The Chiefs are scoring like 52% of their drives. That's a crazy number. They've been in the red zone 17 times in the last 3 games. So, look, now you add Rice back to that, they're extremely dangerous.
I was asked this question on an interview, and it was a very interesting question that, honestly, I hadn't thought about. The question was, on Sunday Night Football, did it mean more for the Chiefs to score 30 points or for the defense to hold an offense like the Lions to 17 points? I said it's the offense because I think their offense just over the last, I would say, year and a half has been kind of middle of the road. And this is the first time that we've seen in a while that the Chiefs could potentially have an elite offense. The Chiefs have been top 5 defensively, it feels like, for 2 years. That hasn't been the case with the offense. So I think the story is more about the offense. What side are you on? Do you think it says more about their offense or their defense, how they performed on Sunday night?
I think the offense, because of kind of to your point, look, they're regaining a confidence they maybe haven't had the last few years. And scoring 30 and doing it as easily as they did, not stunting that growth, so to speak, I think is key. I will say this, though. I was the first 2 drives, Detroit scored 10 points. third drive, they moved it a little bit. They get that fourth down. Then they got pressure, and the throw's low. I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think would tell you he should have caught the ball, but it was low. He couldn't come up with it. The whole game changed after that. It's 24-7 the rest of the way. Detroit scored 7 points on its last 6 drives and averaged 4.2 yards per play on those last 6 drives. That's elite football, essentially. And it didn't feel like an elite game defensively, and I think part of that's because early they didn't play particularly well. But, long term, one thing about the Chiefs this year, it's funny. If you look at their numbers, their rush defense is not ranked highly, and a lot of that is because Justice Hill ripped off like a 71-yarder in garbage time. If you take that out, all of a sudden their numbers are actually pretty good. They shut down a Lions team. They run the ball against everybody. They didn't get 100 yards in that game. They shut down Saquon Barkley earlier in the year. I think it's important for the defense, but I think what you're saying, I agree, the defense has that confidence about them. The offense needs to keep playing that way, and I think that was a big confidence boost. Prime time, got to win it. They hung 30 on the Lions.
Right now, we're talking to Matt Verderame of Sports Illustrated, just getting his thoughts on the National Football League. Matt, you've covered this league for a long time. Have you ever seen as much parity as we have right now? I mean, I feel like we say this every year, but this really bears itself out. You could argue right now that the Chiefs are the best team in the AFC, even though they are ranked 3rd right now in their own division, and they would be outside of the playoffs if they started today. They currently have the 8th best record of any team right now in the AFC. It just feels like that's one of the things. You take a team like the New York Giants, for example. The Giants in the same week could lose to the Saints and then turn around and beat the Philadelphia Eagles. I've kind of said it where I think there's 8 teams that are already eliminated from the postseason, and then there's 24 teams that your guess is just as good as mine.
I think by the end of the year, it'll kind of shake out like it usually does. But I will say this. I can't remember a year where you look at it and just go, man, the playoffs, I have no idea. I have no idea who is better than somebody else. Now, I will say, I think it's fascinating, and this has got to be a first. Maybe it's not. Maybe somebody can fact check this. Has there ever been a team that's 3-3 that's a betting Super Bowl favorite? Has that ever happened? That feels impossible. They're not, and they're not the favorite. Somebody put them number 1 in their power rankings. They're the favorite on DraftKings. And Mahomes is the favorite to win MVP, and they're 3-3. But I think it does speak to a few things. It speaks to the lack of quality of a lot of these teams. The Eagles have not played well. The Bills are 4-2. The Bills have played the easiest schedule in the world. They beat the teams they've beaten are combined 3-21, and they can't stop anybody. They're an absolute sieve. And it's you look at it and just say, well, if the Chiefs get right, I think this is why the betting markets are what they are. If the Chiefs get right, who's beating them? Who's doing it? Because the upside of that team is just massive. Now, in the NFC, I really like what Tampa's doing. They've overcome a lot of injuries. Detroit is still a really, really good team. I think Philadelphia, look, they could certainly get right and get well. But it is a year in the NFL where, yes, you look around and go, I don't know. I mean, what style do you like? What team do you think has the most growth potential? But it's crazy for a team like KC, 3-3, and you look at it and you're like, yeah, they got a really legit shot to be the number 1 seed in the conference. That normally would never happen, and that is absolutely the case right now.
Matt, keeping it in the AFC, are you a believer in the Indianapolis Colts?
I'm a believer in the Colts from the standpoint that I think they're well coached. I think Anarumo's a terrific hire on the defensive side. Steichen knows what he's doing offensively. And look, I said all offseason, I wrote about it, I reported on this. The Colts went out and got Daniel Jones for 3 reasons. He's accurate, doesn't turn the ball over, and he's got a legit amount of mobility. Those are the reasons, okay? Those things have bared fruit. He's been accurate. He's only thrown, I believe it's 3 picks. And he can use his legs. He can keep you honest with his legs. When you have those 3 things in a Shane Steichen offense, you're going to at least be effective. And Anthony Richardson, look, I think the reality was just wasn't accurate enough. When you're completing 50% of your passes in 2025 in the NFL, it's just not going to happen. It's not enough. I don't think, though, they can win the Super Bowl or even get to it. Jones has been good, and I respect that he's having a real renaissance in his career, and that's great for him. They're not, in my opinion, good enough to beat the Bills in the playoffs, beat Kansas City in the playoffs. Like, I think they can. Anybody else in the conference, you can make the argument. Like, could they beat Denver? Yeah. Yeah, they already beat Denver this year. Could they beat the Chargers? Who they play on Sunday? Yeah, they could. But I think as the season goes on, that offense, I mean, they're scoring right now like 61% of their drives. I mean, most years the leading team is right around 50. They're not going to continue that. Their schedule also gets much harder. I do think they're a playoff team. I don't think they're a Super Bowl team.
Moving it over to the NFC, I mean, this is the first time in a while that I have no clue who the best team in the NFC is. I think it's Tampa Bay, but we're talking about no Mike Evans, no Chris Godwin. It looks like Emeka Egbuka. He's going to miss some time with an injury. We're talking about their 1 through 3 wide receivers are potentially out for this thing. The Lions, who do they have healthy in their secondary? You mentioned Philadelphia. They don't look right now. Like, if I ask you right now who's the best team in the NFC, I feel like there's potentially 5 different answers on who that could be.
Yeah, there is. You're right, Carrington. I think I picked the Rams to beat the Bucs in the NFC title game to start the year, and I'm going to stay with that. I will say this, though. Tampa's been incredibly impressive. They're missing the 3 receivers you mentioned. They're also missing Jalen McMillan, who had 8 touchdowns as a rookie receiver last year. He's been out with a neck injury all year. They've been missing Bucky Irving, who's got a foot and shoulder injury right now. Tristan Wirfs didn't play a good chunk of the start of the year at left tackle. They're missing guys on the interior of the line. The question I have with Tampa is, look, I believe in that offense, especially when they're healthy. I think they're going to score a ton of points. Baker's been awesome. He would be my MVP right now with Mahomes a close second. The question for me, though, is can that defense, when they play really good teams, can they stop anybody? Like, to this point, they played a Niners team with a bunch of injuries in Mac Jones. They played the Jets, who are the Jets. They played a Texans team that's great defensively but can't score a point. They played Atlanta, who apparently, unless they're playing the Bills, aren't good. But if they play the Bills, they can gain 500 yards and a half. That's the concern I have with Tampa. You know, when they played Philly, Philly lit them up, at least in the first half. Second half, they didn't complete a pass, but they scored over 30 points. The concern, and then on the side of the Rams, just can you stay healthy? Nakua's already hurt. Stafford, we know what his back was like this summer. Can he last all year? Defensively, I love their front seven. Can those corners, can they hold up in the secondary? The NFC, I feel like there's a lot of teams that, to your point, like, yeah, they're interesting. There's also a lot of questions. I like the Lions a lot, but defensively, can you hold up? It felt like the Chiefs just did whatever they wanted to do in that game. Now, I get they're missing guys, but also, too, like, it's not like they're missing all pros. They're getting guys back who are fine, but they're not getting guys back who are going to just alter and shift everything. I like the Rams still. I still think the Rams are the cream of the crop if they can get right, but it's a big if. There's a lot of question marks about all these teams.
Matt, can you tell me why Mike McDaniel still has a job? Because, I mean, it seems like it is absolute dysfunction down there. Tua said, I mean, it honestly is one of the worst quotes I've ever heard a quarterback give. He didn't even clean it up very well. Mike McDaniel, it feels like we're wasting our time, that he's going to be fired before Halloween.
I agree. I think the reason he hasn't been fired yet is Stephen Ross is probably just sitting there figuring it's a lost season anyway, and we're just going to ride this out for a little bit. And then I would imagine Anthony Weaver, the DC, is really well respected in the organization. I would think he'd be the interim if he wants to be. But look, that's a mess. Like, if I think a lot of people have looked at New Orleans and said, like, oh, they're the fire sale team, and they could be. I mean, Olave and Shaheed and guys like that. Sure, Kamara. I got to tell you, the Dolphins, there is a for sale sign on the front of that building, and if you make an offer, I think you got to Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, Devon Achane. I think you got to give a lot to get Achane, but I think you could. Waddle, no, because of his contract. Obviously, Hill would have been gone, but he got hurt. That team, they will get rid of anybody not nailed down. I mean, they need to regroup and rebuild. Tua is probably going to be there next year because if you look at his contract, it can't really move off him before that. But, yeah, look, I thought he'd be the first coach fired this year. I remember writing that this offseason. I wrote it again after they blew that lead to Carolina, and then the Titans decided to fire Callahan, which, listen, that makes plenty of sense. He was atrocious. But, no, I don't think McDaniel's going to last even another month. That day's coming.
That is our guy, Matt Verderam of Sports Illustrated, joining us on the show today, going through some of the top storylines with the Chiefs and also the National Football League. Matt, great stuff, man. We appreciate you as always.
You got it. Anytime.
Absolutely. That's Matt Verderam of Sports Illustrated popping on the show today. Coming up on the other side, we'll ask you guys the question. Let's go back to Sunday Night Football. Does it mean more that the Chiefs scored 30 points against the Lions, or does it mean more that they held the Lions offense to 17 points? We'll go through it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison. Watch the show on YouTube by subscribing to the 965 YouTube channel. The Drive, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5, The Fan.
Every NFL Thursday is your chance to hit the jackpot on FanDuel, because FanDuel's Thursday touchdown jackpot means that you can win a share of $2 million in bonus bets each and every week. To get in on this Thursday's action, all you have to do is place an anytime touchdown score bet before the game kicks off. And if your player scores either the first or the last touchdown in the game, then you'll win your bet plus a share of bonus bets. All you need to do is visit FanDuel.com. Use my promo code KFNZ to take a shot at the jackpot. Remember my promo code KFNZ for your chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt in. Must apply profit boost hosting on select market. Prize pool to be split equally among all eligible participants who made the correct first or last touchdown pick. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 21 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Can help with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit KSGamblingHelp.com.
For over 30 years, we've been crafting more than jewelry. We've been crafting love stories. This is Gene at House of Diamonds, where our jewelry tells a story, your story. Unlike big-name designers mass-producing so-called exclusive designs by the thousands in overseas factories, we create one-of-a-kind masterpieces by hand right here in our shop. Our custom designs are just that, custom, designed and crafted with you, for you, and only you. Every custom ring, pendant, or bracelet from House of Diamonds is as unique as the person wearing it. And also, unlike those big-name designers, we'll never use lab diamonds to pad our profits. I've watched prices of lab diamonds drop 90% in the last 2 years, but I'm pretty sure those big designers are still charging the same or more for that big name and designer box. Real stories deserve real diamonds, and one-of-a-kind love deserves one-of-a-kind designer jewelry. Come to House of Diamonds for over 30 years on the southeast corner of College and Quivira.
This is the Let's Revitalize Our Neighborhoods commitment. This is the Roll Up Our Sleeves and Pitch In commitment. This is Busey, where our commitment to strengthen our communities is a top priority. Through energetic, engaged volunteers, through monetary support, community leadership, and advocacy. Because Busey is more than a bank that does well, we're a bank that does good. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth, since 1868. Member FDIC.
Kansas City, it's time to turn up the heat. The Westport Sunfresh is back and better than ever. Now proudly part of the Cosentino Food Stores family. We're celebrating with a re-grand opening you won't want to miss. That means 3 full weeks of hot savings on the freshest produce, premium meats, and all your grocery favorites. Come experience the new and improved Westport Sunfresh, your neighborhood store, now with even more local love. Located in the heart of Westport, only at Cosentino's Westport Sunfresh.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS? Whether it's due to job loss, a divorce, a new business venture, or you just didn't file your taxes, don't lose hope. Powerful relief programs are now available that can help you and may reduce or even eliminate what you owe the IRS. With the cost of living affecting millions across the country, Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying anyone with $5, $50, or even $500,000 in back taxes to the IRS to call to get relief options. With over 1,000 5-star Google reviews and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, TRA is America's trusted choice for real tax relief. Relief options are now available that can give you a fresh start and peace of mind. End your tax nightmare today by calling our tax relief hotline. Dial 800-390-8182. 800-390-8182. That's 800-390-8182. Or visit TRA.com. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next-day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's Superstart Battery Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get up to a $25 gift card after rebate with the purchase of select Superstart batteries. We'll test your old battery for free and recommend the right battery for your vehicle. For power, performance, and reliability, choose Superstart batteries only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This afternoon, expect sunny conditions with a high of 84.
Weather brought to you by Robert Half. Our recruiters' expertise and award-winning AI will find you the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
Hey, it's George Karlaftis from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome to The Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Coming up in about 5 minutes or so, we'll talk about a story that just continues to come up. But we're asking this question right now. I went on with my guy, Andrew Filipponi, and he asked me if it meant more that the Chiefs scored 30 points on Sunday Night Football or held the Lions to 17 points. And honestly, I had not thought about it through that perspective. So I'm going to read you two texts, and they're on opposite sides of this thing. CDOT, I think it means more that the Chiefs scored 30 points. The defense has been elite for some years now, but we've been waiting for the offense to come around. Someone else says it means 100% more for the defense. The Lions' offense was healthy and full of weapons. It's not like the defense that was missing starters, so I think it's a big deal for the defense. That's what I think makes it a really, really good question. I'm going to side with the offense here for this. I think their offense right now, for the first time in 2 years, seems to have a real heavyweight punch. I think for the first time, the offense really has the ability to put somebody on their back, when I don't think they had that the last couple of years. I think one of the reasons why the Chiefs played so many one-score games last year, why so many games went to the wire, is their offense didn't really have the ability to put you away. I think they can do that right now. I think when the Chiefs are up 7 and their defense forces a punt and they get the ball back, I think the Chiefs can go down the field and score and make this a 14-point game that can put it out of reach. I saw them do that against the Lions on Sunday night. So I think that's the story. I think you can look right now and say every facet of their offense has improved from week 1 to now. They've gotten better quarterback play. Now, they've always had great quarterback play, but you understand, Mahomes' last 4 games, he has played at an MVP level. They are running the football more effectively. It's still not a great rushing attack, but it's certainly better than it was the first 3-4 weeks of the season. Their wide receiver room is more complete than it was in week 1. Travis Kelce is playing well right now. And their offensive line has really found cohesiveness with or without Josh Simmons. So I'm looking at the offense right now and the development, and now you are scheduled to add your most dynamic player to that offense. At least for me, the answer is the offense. So that's what I'm siding with, them scoring 30 on the Lions. Where are you at, Rob?
You know, it's funny. We see this differently. I think the answer is the defense. I understand everything you're saying about the offense, and I don't want to make it seem like it's 100% defense, 0% offense. I think it's like 51-49, so I agree with your point on the offense, but I lean defense for this reason. The defense has been a little bit up and down this year. We talked in that first week that they got embarrassed by the Chargers. Then they locked up. They played well against the Eagles. They played well against the Ravens. They played well against the Giants. It felt like, oh man, the defense has turned a corner. They're back to being the defense we thought they'd be. And then the Jacksonville Jaguars, who you're the one who always tells me Trevor Lawrence is not that good. And I don't disagree with you. They scored 30 plus on you. Like the Jags. This is not Mark Brunell and Jimmy Smith slinging the ball around. This is Trevor Lawrence and, Mr. Drops, Brian Thomas Jr. They scored 30 on you. And a play in that game had fans, media, everyone questioning the effort of your defense, specifically one defensive player. And then in the first quarter, the Lions looked like, hey, they're the best offense in the NFL. The Chiefs could be in trouble. But then the defense locked in and that is the best offense in the NFL, I believe, in the Detroit Lions, and they held them down. Matt Burton had the stat. Their last 6 possessions, they scored 7 total points. That's unheard of for the Lions offense in 2025. So I think the defense is more important because I feel like this was a step toward being a more consistent defense, and they did it against the cream of the crop offense in the Detroit Lions.
Someone just texted this in. Guys, I think this is the first year that both the offense and defense can be elite, and this could possibly be the first year where I feel we have to worry about special teams. I think that is a legitimate argument. Now, Dave Tobe had a press conference earlier today and essentially said, we're going to figure this thing out, and when the games get most important, Harrison Butker is going to be Harrison Butker. I would say that Harrison Butker right now is one of the few things that you're worried about. Now, maybe you would argue it's pass rush, but I will just continue to maintain this. They had their chance to fix the pass rush in the offseason. You are just not adding a quality get-to-the-quarterback pass rusher in October, early November. That's just not how this thing works. Teams are just not letting those guys go. Not on sale. You're paying a premium if you're going to go get somebody that can go get after the other team's quarterback. So right now, if you're looking for areas in which I think the Chiefs could possibly improve, you can improve at running back. We'll see if the Chiefs end up making a trade. They've been linked to a couple of running backs. You could technically improve at kicker, but they have the highest paid kicker in the National Football League. So I don't think the Chiefs are bringing in another kicker. Like, outside of running back, I kind of think this is the team that the Chiefs plan on rolling with. Now, an injury could possibly change things. But if you're asking me right now, if the Chiefs don't make a move at running back, where else do you see them making a move? I just don't see them making a move anywhere else. I think this is the team.
I could see them bringing a Melvin Ingram type of pass rusher. Remember that? I think it was 2021. I think it was the other the Bengals. Remember they brought in Melvin Ingram for like a 6th-round pick. Melvin Ingram was toiling away with the Steelers that year because that was the year Mike Tomlin had the quote that they want volunteers, not hostages or whatever. And the Chiefs brought Melvin Ingram in. They added to their pass rush. It wasn't a high acquisition cost. All those things. I could see that type of addition on the defensive line.
Yeah,
but you're
I just
right,
don't think that
premium.
I just think if you're adding that kind of player, and I'm with you, I think that would be the kind of player that they would potentially add. Melvin Ingram had 1 sack with the Chiefs in 9 games. He had 1 sack. Now, if you're saying, could I see them adding somebody who we hit the breaking news sounder and people get all excited about, and then when he leaves, we then look at his stats and was like, he didn't really do a whole lot. I mean, that was Terrell Suggs. I mean, I remember back when Terrell Suggs was available, and every team that was decent that year put in a waiver claim to go get Terrell Suggs, and the Chiefs just ended up winning the waiver claim. Terrell Suggs didn't really help this team. Like, I'm saying, like, to me, there is not a single realistic player that the Chiefs could trade for that you think bumps them up a letter grade with wherever you think their pass rush is. If you think their pass rush is a C-, there is not a single move they're going to make that's going to get their pass rush to a B- or a B. They can go from somebody that gets them from a C- to a C, but I think that's as high as you could potentially get when it comes to that position. Teams are just not letting go a guy that can wreak havoc on their defensive line in November, especially when you have to assume now with how many good teams or competitive teams there are in the league. I mean, right now it's a buyer's market now at this point, or I guess a seller's market, because there's so few teams that are completely out of it, and there's so many teams that are going to convince themselves that one wide receiver, that one corner, that one pass rusher could be the thing that creates a separation between you and the rest of the league.
I mean, to be fair, doesn't that same thing exist at running back? Like, for an impact guy, like, I know the Jets stink, and everyone thinks the Jets are going to have a fire sale. But it's not like the Chiefs are going to be the only team to call the Jets about Breece Hall. Like, that point about everyone being kind of in the wash right now and that parity reigning supreme.
I don't see any scenario in which they go get Breece Hall.
I was naming
I'm with you. I guess I just know Breece Hall is
back.
going to be a very popular player that gets named, and that's why I say that. I mean, Breece Hall is owed a contract at the end of this season. So I'm just asking you guys, do you guys see a scenario in which the Chiefs, in theory, are going to have to overpay for Breece Hall because he's a very productive running back, and then they're going to pay him in the offseason? And you know, I've been banging the drum for running back as much as anybody. I don't think they should go trade for Breece Hall. That time has passed when it comes to that. Now, if you go get the kid from Miami that you can get for a 6th-round pick, that's a failed 1st or 2nd-round player, and you see if he's got a little bit of juice for you, then that's perfectly fine. But why trade additional draft asset, a 2026 pick, just use that pick to go get your own running back next year. You didn't like any of the running backs last year, even though it was a very productive class. Maybe there's somebody, and they're going to need to go get a running back this offseason anyway. They got 3 running backs who are all on 1-year contracts. Pacheco's contract is up, Kareem Hunt's contract is up, and Elijah Mitchell's contract is up. They're going to have to go running back shopping anyway at the end of the season.
I agree. My point was just this. And you're right. I don't think they're going to get Breece Hall either. I think that running back, Jalen Wright, by the way, is his name for the Dolphins, is a viable thing. My point was that with so much parity in the NFL, I think the price tag on every available player is going up.
I agree.
And that includes like Jalen Wright. Now, maybe he goes from you need to give up a 6th to you give up a 7th. But the bad teams, the dregs of the league, the teams that are having garage sales are going to get calls from everyone. Like, using running backs as an example. Do you know who else is running back? The Chargers. The Chargers are making the same phone calls the Chiefs are right now. So if you're the Jets, if you're the Saints, if you're the Dolphins, I'm making you pay a premium because now there's a bidding war. So I think that parity works with less teams are offering players up, and now because of that, there's a higher, steeper price for the ones that are available.
Yeah, I'm seeing this right here. CDOT, they can pay Breece Hall because they're letting all the running backs go. I mean, I don't know why we would think after an offseason in which it was one of the best running back classes ever that now the Chiefs in 6 months now really value the position where now they're going to spend a 3rd-round pick and give $12 million to a running back last year. Like, we can't go from a 0 to 100 real quick, and that's what we're talking about. Like, trading for Devon Achane. If I'm Achane at the end of the season, I'm asking for a new contract. I've been one of the 10 best running backs in the league for the last 18 months. I'm not playing next year on a mid-round draft pick when I was picked in the 3rd round. So no, I don't see some of these guys being realistic picks because of the acquisition cost to go get them and then how much the second contract is going to cost for some of these guys. I just think some of the running back conversations, that ship has sailed. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll be joined by James Palmer of Bleacher Report. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
This is Wyatt Thompson from K-State, and you're listening to The Drive with CDOT right here on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
BetMGM is inviting you to charge the field this pro football season. Existing BetMGM customers can have a ball without having to sweat. Log into your account to get a pro football no sweat token. Apply the token to your next pro football bet. If you lose with the token attached, you'll get your stake back in bonus bets. That's right, with a no sweat token, you get your stake back in bonus bets if you don't win. There's nothing like a fresh set of downs. And that's just what BetMGM is offering if you don't win with a no-sweat token. Find your favorite matchup and be part of the action. Make this pro football season one for the ages. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
More than a few of our patients have talked to me about their first time, but it's not the first time you're probably thinking about. It's the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined the moment. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. And if you're over 50, it's likely that you've had that first time yourself. But the good news is that if you're like most men, that first time can be the last time that ED impacts your sex life. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men using protocols with success rates well over 90%. And those treatments have, in most cases, made sex great again for both them and their partners. You could even find that you're performing like you haven't in years. So if ED has been affecting your intimacy, it's time to make the last time that happens the last time that happens. For just $99, you'll receive blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Score big savings with Hy-Vee and the Kansas City Chiefs. Big points mean even bigger savings. Just shop Hy-Vee the day after a game and earn a fuel saver discount equal to the Chiefs score and based on the amount you spend. If the Chiefs score 42 points, you save 42 cents a gallon with any $42 purchase. The more we score, the more you save. Win or lose, everyone scores the day after a Chiefs game only at Hy-Vee. Offer good in store and online. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
I
I love going to Hy-Vee, but I've got 2 kids in high school and life is busy. That's why I love the convenience of ordering my groceries with Hy-Vee's Aisles Online. It's easy. Just download the app or go to Hy-Vee.com. Then choose your store, select your items, and Hy-Vee will do all the shopping. All you have to do is pick up your order or have it delivered to you. Try it today. New customers get $10 off your first Aisles Online purchase with the code. Save time, save money. What could be better? Only at Hy-Vee.
Your favorite neighborhood spots run unsquare. You know the ones. Maybe it's the popular shop that just opened a new location by you, or the big sports bar that's always packed on game day. These places make the neighborhood, and the money spent there stays in your community. Square powers more than 4 million neighborhood businesses worldwide. To learn more, go to square.com, or just stop by your favorite local business. See you in the neighborhood. Square.
At Straight Talk, we get it. You say no a lot.
Mom, can I get a tarantula? No.
Coffee?
No.
So we're giving you more reasons to say yes, like a free 5G phone with real unlimited data with select plan activation.
Can I use the free phone? Yes.
See? Doesn't it feel good to say yes to more?
Absolutely. Face tattoo? Absolutely not.
Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Taxes and fees apply. In-store activation of Gold Unlimited plan or higher required. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
Fesco and Dusty, weekdays 6 to 10 on Kansas City's FM sports station. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, and Odyssey Sports Station.
Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by friend of the show, James Palmer. He is the co-host of Scoop City Podcast on The Athletic. He also does fantastic work for Bleacher Report. James, happy to have you pop on today.
What's up, Karen? How you been, man?
Doing fantastic. We have been asking everybody this question this week. I have to ask you to kick things off today. What is the word that you struggle with spelling that spell check has to take over? My word is convenience. I asked Patrick Mahomes this question when he came on the show a couple of days ago. He said his word is itinerary. Everybody has that word. What's yours?
Available. And I don't know why. My fingers don't do it right when I'm typing. And it just fixes it for me. But for some reason, and I'm a pretty fast typer, but for some reason my fingers don't do available correctly. And I'm watching it on the screen, and for one reason or another, it just doesn't work for me. And I just watch it get fixed every single day that I'm going, will he be available on Sunday? And it just gets fixed.
Who is your favorite fictional football player? Mine is Tim Riggins from Friday Night Lights. Who is yours?
Well, listen, you know I'm Ohio State Buckeye, Karen. You know that. You know that's where I went to school. Do you know Keanu Reeves played a former Ohio State quarterback in 2 movies?
Oh, I knew of one. I didn't know the second one.
Which one did you know?
He's that in The Replacements, right?
Yes, and the same thing in Point Break with Patrick Swayze. Johnny Utah blew out my knee, lost my window. So he plays an Ohio State quarterback in 2 different movies. So I'll pick Point Break, though, as my favorite fictional football player. Even though he doesn't play football in it outside of a beach, he is a former bowl-winning quarterback, blew out his knee and didn't get an NFL career.
You know what? That absolutely counts. I would like to throw in this conversation Alvin Mack, another player who blew out his knee.
The program. Oh, that's a top fiver for me right there. Yeah. Alvin Mack was absolutely outstanding running the middle of that defense.
I love the program. I'd be very happy to see that movie be a reboot. I don't know if that's one that could go to the theaters right now, but that could definitely go on Amazon Prime, and I'd watch it immediately.
I'd watch it too. They had to take that scene out because kids started laying down on the highway. That was pretty brutal. That the original movie had the guys laying down on the highway to test their toughness, which was insane. I would say also that the program kind of just like made you just want to go out and just play football that day. There was just something about the program that was just kind of like, did they do it a little more real than everybody else? It was a great film.
So we were just talking about this right before you popped on. I was asked this question on an interview and I hadn't thought about it. When it comes to Sunday Night Football, are you more encouraged by the offense scoring 30 points or by the defense who held the Lions to 17 points?
I think it's by the defense, in all honesty, because that's where we have more question marks, and we've seen the way this offense has now worked with Xavier Worthy, which is what they wanted to do right from the start. But obviously the injury happens, and since he returned, they got 30, 28, and 27 points. We've seen that, and we know what the secondary of the Lions was. But this was a Lions offense that we knew coming in. It was when they took the opening toss and said, hey, we want the ball. It was, okay, we want to run the football against a team that has struggled to stop the run. We have the two-headed monster, with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. And they had a great opening drive, and they did some good things early. But the defense buckled down, man, and really played well against a Lions offense that had everybody. And so to me, I have question marks on the defensive side of the ball, and I think playing the Lions the way they played them, I think that was a really good performance to me, as this defense I think is going to grow as the season goes on. And I'm not saying anything that nobody's ever seen before with the Spags defense, but I do think this group is going to grow. They have some younger guys up front that they're going to need to have, really go by leaps and bounds as this year goes on and be playing different football by December. But I think this was a really good step early on for that defense.
I argued the offense because I've seen their offense really improve at almost every single facet of it. Their quarterback is playing very consistent football, but that's always the case. Their running game, I think, has improved over the first 6 weeks of the season. That offensive line has certainly improved as well. You're getting great play from Travis Kelce, who had a very, I would say, weird first 3 games with the Andy Reid, the helmet throw, all of those things, and a wide receiver room that is really filled in and is now about to get their best wide receiver back. I've been very encouraged by this offense basically since halftime of Sunday Night Football against the Giants.
Yeah, listen, you asked me to pick one of the two. I'd say as an entire unit, I was impressed with the defense considering what they were going against. In terms of a position group that I'm most impressed with, to me, I think it's the offensive line. I think the offensive line coming together, and it's helped the run game. It's helped Patrick operate under center in the run game a little bit more than we've seen in the past. It helps him on the play action. It helps him on the bootlegs. And we know with Rashid coming back, like, a lot of these shallow crosses that he's just brilliant at. And it's a feel thing, and he's just so good. And some of those plays take a little bit of time. And I think the offensive line allowing Patrick to be able to have some of these concepts that they want to run now that they're getting all of their pass catchers back, I think allows them to run the offense the way they want. And I think we had some question marks early on, right? We're like, there were thoughts that, like, Trey Smith wasn't playing up to the level that they know he can play at in the contract that he has. And we all know Creed's outstanding. But then you had another question at the other guard spot. And then, the tackles, you're going, I don't know if this is kind of up and down. It was all starting to kind of come together, even though Josh Simmons isn't there in that game Sunday night. You're still seeing this offensive line come together. And I think if that happens, and it looks like it's headed in that direction, I think this offense, with Patrick getting time, has a whole lot of different things that they can do.
Right now, we're talking to James Palmer, going through some of the top storylines right now with the Kansas City Chiefs. You are as plugged into Kansas City as any national reporter is. What are you hearing about Josh Simmons? What is sort of the feel around him as he is currently away from the team?
I'll just say, very few people knew what was going on, to my understanding, prior to Sunday, and then more people started finding out. And when you're hearing very little information coming out of the organization, oftentimes I also let that kind of play itself out. And I think when you hear Andy say, I'm going to defer to Brett Veach, and you hear Patrick not really answer questions about him, I think you start to just kind of go, well, let's just see what the team says next. Obviously, we're all digging and we're all asking questions. All of us, we wouldn't be doing our jobs if we weren't reporters, but I think there's a respect thing there. But I just think there's just not a lot of information. To be completely frank, there isn't. Until we get some, I think that's where it stands right now.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think my, at least, confusion in all of this has just been this. I don't know what it is. I have absolutely no clue, and I've tried to avoid speculation because I just don't think that's fair. And you and I both know somebody clips it or says they heard on the radio. Like, wait, no, that's not at all what I said. What I'm confused about is this. I just don't know why, if it was a personal reason or a family reason, why either his agent doesn't release a statement or the Chiefs just jointly release a statement. Hey, Josh Simmons is away from the team right now dealing with a family matter. When Josh feels ready to talk about it, he'll give you an update. Like, that seems like something that's very simple that would have basically ended any rumor or people trying to guess what it is. I just don't know why they didn't put this fire out from the very, very beginning.
Yeah, I think that's a question more apt for somebody that studied PR in college and not me. But I agree with you. I think trying to figure out the best way to get as much information out as you're allowed to or willing to or can regarding the situation is oftentimes the approach with a lot of these things. But again, sometimes if you don't hear something, it's you don't have a lot, and you as an organization don't want to speculate. So I'm going to kind of let it kind of play out a little bit. Obviously, we're all trying to figure out, within reason and hope everything's okay. But at the same time, I think we just kind of see what the Chiefs do next.
I really want to make this a point in every person that we talk to this week. I think Jalen Moore just deserves a lot of credit. You follow this league. You talk to teams. You talk to players. I mean, I think a lot of players would have asked to just be on the inactive list on Sunday Night Football. He had a kid earlier in the day. You haven't been getting run with the ones. You haven't been practicing with the ones. You maybe were told in free agency one thing, a draft ended up happening, and it changed plans. I think it certainly would have been understandable for him to stay with his family on Sunday, for him to show up, play as well as he's played, keep his head down and do the work. I think he deserves a lot of credit for how he's been a pro in the face of everything that's happened in the last 6 months.
100%. And I think he went from a good organization to another good organization. I think the time he spent at his previous stop plays a part in this, in the way that they do business, in the way that they run their football operation. And I think it's a credit to him for sure. And I think also it's we should be looking at this going, man, everybody's going, whoa, Brett Veach paid a lot of money here. Well, right now everybody's going around the league, is there any way we can get some offensive line help right now? Like, there are teams trying to get some depth. I mean, there's just not a lot of good offensive linemen around. There's teams that are very thin. I mean, the Chargers are playing like their 5th, 6th offensive tackles like right now. And so credit to everyone involved for maybe having one thought process when the deal was made, to pivoting and getting who many believe was maybe the most athletic tackle in the draft at the bottom of the first rounds, and he ends up playing really, really well while he's out there, and that changes things, and he wins the job. But I think, he's been around long enough to go, this league changes week to week, and anything can happen, and you got to make the most of your opportunities. You're getting a chance to protect Patrick Mahomes, and he did a really, really good job of it. And so now, considering a very unique situation that they're in right now with Josh Simmons, I think Brett Veach is looking pretty smart, and he's looking like a pretty good fill-in right now.
Right now, we're going through some of the top storylines with James Palmer of Bleacher Report. I asked Mitch Holtz earlier this week what it means for the Chiefs to get back Rashee Rice, and he said this is like adding Deebo Samuel to an offense. We mentioned it a little bit earlier, just kind of talking about the Chiefs offense and how they're kind of rounding into form. I don't know if I would maybe go like Rashee Rice is the top 10, top 15 receiver in the league, but I think there's a group of like 30 to 35 wide receivers that are clear game-changing, impacting kind of players. And the fact that an offense that we think is trending up right now, the fact that they are getting a player like that at this time, I mean, that's one of the biggest additions that any team is going to have in the National Football League from now until the end of the season.
It's a big deal. I'd actually go a step further than Deebo, because very few years Deebo's been the focal point of the offense, right? Like he really hasn't been the focal point of an offense for some time. Rashee is Patrick's favorite target right now, I think. I mean, I think he's the focal point of the offense. I mean, obviously he still loves throwing the ball to Travis, but we understand where he's at now in his career and the way this offense is operating with Rashee as the focal point essentially of it. I'll just tell you this. Very few times do you kind of talk to people in buildings and understand how excited they are for a player to come back. And this is like next level. Like, there are people in that building that are just over the moon to get Rashee back. And I think it's because they know the amount of attention he was going to get last year. Go look at his targets in 4 games before he got hurt, Carrington? I think it was something like that. And the amount of times Patrick looked his way and what they wanted to do with him and the growth they saw. You said he's not a top 10 receiver. They truly believe he's a top 10 receiver. That's the way the Chiefs think about him in terms of the way he can change a game, the yards after the catch. He's like a running back with the ball in his hand. So maybe that's where Mitch was going with the type of player that he can be, because Deebo kind of is that same vein. But like, he can take short gains and make them explosive plays. And this is a league right now that is starving for explosive plays. Outside of the Seahawks, it seems like nobody can get really, really downfield. And now this group has the speed to stretch it. They make you cover every single blade of grass. I know it sounds cliche, but horizontally with the way Worthy plays. And now you're just stretched out. And I think Rashee Rice is kind of the linchpin that holds it all together in the way they want it to work and operate at its highest level. And so I do think this is a really big deal for an offense and a team that I think there's 13 teams with 4 or 5 wins. The Chiefs are not one of them, but I think most people would say the Chiefs are in a better spot than, if not, the vast majority, if not all of those 13 teams.
I was just going to ask you that this is one of the rare times that I think you could say there's a team that is 3-3, and that you could argue that right now they're the best team in the National Football League. They're also currently have the 8th best record of teams in the AFC and are 3rd in their own division. I don't know if you've ever been able to say that at any point in the National Football League.
I think because right now you're seeing some of these teams at the top that you have legitimate questions. I mean, we could look at the AFC. Like, I think the Colts are playing outstanding football. It's one of the most efficient offenses we see in the league right now. It might be the most efficient offense we see. And I think everybody's going, well, like, that's Daniel Jones, right? Like, they still, even though DJ's playing at a really high level and they're really, really, they're just a great group of skill guys that know what they're doing. And Tyler Warren's been awesome. You still go like, well, that's Daniel Jones. It's not Patrick Mahomes running it. And you see the Bills are having, for the 2nd consecutive year now, like issues attacking teams from the boundary and don't have an outside receiver, and that's really impacting their offense. And the defense has, some injuries they're dealing with. Like, I do think it is true because you also have a track record that's just in your mind. You have Andy Reid. You have Steve Spagnuolo. You have Patrick Mahomes. You still have all these pieces that have made it, so consistent of a winning organization that gets better as seasons go on. You can't just forget that, even though every roster is different with every year and teams change. I get that. But a lot of these other teams have questions. I mean, the Chargers came out like gangbusters, and I mentioned, like, their entire backfield goes down. Most of their offensive line goes down. They lose Khalil Mack. Like, everybody has, I think, a question mark next to them, including the defending Super Bowl champs. I just think that question mark's just a little smaller, and we don't question it as much with Kansas City.
Are you a believer in the Indianapolis Colts?
You know what? I'll say this. I want to be, because it's kind of fun. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It's kind of fun the way they play football. It's just people misuse the word balance, I think, with them. And you just go, oh, well, they're so balanced. They run the ball so well. I mean, Jonathan Taylor's leading the NFL in rushing. He's outstanding in everything he does. He's maybe one of the most underrated players over the last several years in this league. But they all know what they're supposed to do. I think it's such a great team to watch if you love everybody knowing their role. Like, Michael Pittman knows what he does. Josh Downs knows what he does. Tyler Warren is one of the most entertaining players to watch in football. And I think we love a redemption story. Like, we love that Daniel Jones is bouncing back. And guys still are rooting for him that played with him in New York. Saquon Barkley and Sterling Shepard, I was talking to him the other day. Like, they're all still pulling for him. I think this is somewhat legit. I really do. I think they are legit. And I think what we're seeing also is that Shane Steichen's a really good play caller. He was outstanding in Philadelphia before he got this head coaching job. He just didn't have anybody that could run the system. And now we're seeing, I think, a really balanced, efficient team that is, I think some people outside of Indy might be rooting for, just because it's a really great story for a lot of guys involved.
James, I'll get you out of here with 2 things. The first thing is, who do you think right now is the best team in the NFC? Because you just mentioned the question marks that are currently around the National Football League. You look at the NFC, I really like the way that Tampa Bay has started. They don't have a healthy wide receiver, it feels like, right now. The Lions are super banged up when it comes to their secondary. The Eagles just haven't felt right the entire season. Green Bay, I loved Green Bay to kick off the season. They lost to the Browns and then tied the Dallas Cowboys. There's so much uncertainty in the NFC right now. How are you handicapping this thing? Who do you think is the best team right now?
Well, I love that you mentioned Tampa and what Baker's doing, because, I mean, not only is he playing, without a future Hall of Famer and Mike Evans most of this season, the running mate of him and Chris Godwin has barely played, who's a Pro Bowl receiver as well. And then you have your rookie receiver carrying your entire passing game, and Emeka Egbuka's playing great, and then he's out. But nobody even talks about, like, Bucky Irving's been out. The entire offensive line returned from last year. They haven't played the way they played together last year for a single game. They've been shuffled around, and there's been injuries in front of Baker galore. I mean, most of those guys have missed multiple games this year. And if they did play every game, they'd probably play in multiple positions. So that's really what's going on in Tampa. So it's really impressive what they've been able to do and what Baker's been able to do. I'll bring up a team that you didn't mention. I think Seattle's really, really good. I think Seattle's really good, and mainly because they're good in the trenches, which to me is a significant part of being a great team. Their offensive line's playing really well. Cross is probably playing the best football of his career. Their interior 3 on their D-line might be as good as any interior 3 in all of football. Jackson Smith-Njigba's right now playing like the best receiver out there, and Sam Darnold looks more comfortable in this system than he did playing with Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota last year. And so what Clint Kubiak's doing with that group and the way that they're designing that offense and the way that they're playing football right now on both sides, I think Seattle might be one of the best teams in football. Secondary is a little bit of a question. We'll see what happens at the trade deadline if they can add somebody and get things together. But I actually really like Seattle. They're a team that's been fun to watch, and they're pretty talented in the trenches. And to me, that usually carries you through ups and downs of the season.
I'm not sure if you have an MVP vote or not. We obviously got a long way to go in this thing, and I'm sure we'll talk about it between now and then. The point that I made whenever Mahomes became the favorite is I think the tie is going to go to Baker. I think we see this happen in the NBA with Jokic, for example. If it was a tie because Jokic has won a couple, Joel Embiid wins it. If there's a tie, we're going to give it to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I think the fact that Mahomes has won so many other things and Baker is so likable and has such a very likable story. Like, it is the ultimate character arc. Number one overall pick, fell flat on his face, rebuilt himself, and turned himself into an MVP. I think if it is close in any way between Mahomes and Baker, then Baker's going to be the NFL MVP this season.
I can see that for sure. I think your thinking is definitely warranted, because I think it's part of the reason why Josh won the MVP last year over Lamar. Because I think if you look at Lamar Jackson's season, and I know people in Kansas City are like, he can't win in the postseason, and he can't beat Mahomes. Totally get it. It's a regular season award, and Lamar definitely put up the numbers to win another MVP last year. And it felt a little bit of what you're describing as it's really close. Josh has never won one. He's always played great. Let's give it to him. It kind of had a little bit of the vibe to it with those two guys. It's been a minute since Pat won MVP, right? Like, I don't know. Like, if it is close, I do think that the idea of that story with Baker makes sense. I'll throw a monkey wrench in there, and I know this is a quarterback award. You know who I would give the MVP to right now? I give it to Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson is incredible right now. I think he's the best offensive player in football. He runs routes like a receiver. He's now finally getting used the way Arthur Smith, sadly he's not there anymore, but drafted him to do. It just took 3 years for Bijan to kind of learn it all. But the way that he plays the position, the offense runs entirely through him. Everybody knows he's getting the ball, and he's literally their second option after Drake London in the passing game. He plays their F, Carrington. Like, he plays their slot on third down. Like, he is an unbelievable football player. I know nobody's won it since Adrian Peterson in 2012 as a non-quarterback, but I'd like to see maybe a non-quarterback get into the mix a little bit.
James, I'll get you out of here with this. I know you're a Big Ten guy. While you and I were talking, Indiana just agreed to a contract extension with their head coach. 8 years, $92.8 million for Curt Cignetti to continue to be the head coach at Indiana. That is a fantastic contract.
I think it's outstanding, and I think there's a contract. There's a vacancy within the Big Ten, and I think his name was on a list to potentially land in Happy Valley, and I think Indiana jumped at the chance to make sure they lock up, I think, somebody who's a really, really good coach. I think everybody's trying to chase down my Buckeyes right now, who are on fire, and I just think we all could wish that we could get Jeremiah Smith into the NFL next year, but we still have another year of college football for him, sadly. But, yeah, I think he's a great coach. I really do. And I think it's really awesome. It's one of the better stories in college football right now and what they're able to do there in Indiana.
That is James Palmer. He is with Scoop City Podcast, courtesy of The Athletic. He also does fantastic work for Bleacher Report. He's one of our favorite guests. James, I look forward to catching up with you in a month. The Chiefs have a stretch of at Buffalo, at Denver, Indianapolis, and Thanksgiving against the Cowboys. So I'm sure we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it sounds good. I think if Denver takes care of business, if they can, they could be 8-2 rolling into that game against Kansas City, and that could be a really fun one.
Absolutely. That's James Palmer joining us on the show. Appreciate you, James.
Yep, no problem.
Absolutely. That's James Palmer joining us on the show. If you guys missed it, the breaking news right now, Curt Cignetti, who is the head coach at Indiana, just signed an 8-year, $92 million deal to continue to be the head coach at Indiana. Let me tell you guys that our college football coverage here on 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by Bud Light. Bud Light and Tanners, they are teaming up to make every college game day legendary. Every Saturday, rep your college team, catch every play, and enjoy $15 buckets only at Kansas area Tanners locations. Bud Light, Tanners, from the stands to the bar, your game day headquarters. I mean, this seems very, very obvious to me. If you are Indiana, you have to know that other teams are going to try to come poach your coach at every single turn. Now, a major component of this, I think, when it comes to Indiana is their head coach is 64 years old. Now, I think if their head coach was 35 years old, I think we'd be having very different conversations. But this is Curt Cignetti's first major coaching job. And if you've been a head coach, I looked this up. If you've been a head coach or in coaching since 1983 and you finally got to a Power 4 and you're having the amount of success that he is having, I can understand why you want to stay. They took a chance on me when not a lot of other programs are willing to take a chance on me, and now they're willing to pay me what the market says that I'm worth. This makes him one of the 10 highest paid college football coaches. So yes, he's not at Penn State, he's not at Nebraska or Florida or one of those, but he gets paid like he's there with a third of the expectation that they have. I understand that everybody wants to try to reach the highest of their profession, but man, a lot of times the goal is to make really good money and be in a situation that you like. And if he feels like he's found that in Indiana, good for him. They just guaranteed him $92 million. You take care of yourself, you take care of your staff, you take care of the people that are around you, and you keep having success like he is right now at Indiana. What a job by them. I mean, they knew the vultures were swarming. Penn State made a phone call, or they at least called his agent to find out what the interest was. And if you want to avoid that conversation, you sign him to that kind of contract. He's now gotten 2 raises in less than a year. Very few people have raised their profile the way that Curt Cignetti has as the head coach at Indiana. Coming up in just a little bit, I have a question to ask you guys about Josh Simmons and how we cover athletes. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison, a show that prides itself on getting it right.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5, The Fan.
Hey folks, I've got a couple of important questions for you. Do you know how much money you need to retire? Do you have a plan in place for your loved ones? If your answer is no, it's time to get your financial planning on track with UMB Private Wealth. It's never too late to start. Plus, their team supports you at every step of the planning process. Go to umb.com/privatewealth to schedule your appointment. That's umb.com/privatewealth. Why not start today?
FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is coming to Missouri. On December 1st, you'll finally be able to bet on all your favorite teams and all your favorite sports. With FanDuel, there's a ton of ways for you to get in on the action. You can bet everything from the money line to over-unders to which team will win it all. You'll be able to build parlays, bet player props, or even ride the live line. Whatever your style, FanDuel has you covered. Plus, with live betting, you can pick which player will score the next touchdown or the touchdown after that. However you play your game, FanDuel's got your back. On December 1st, you'll be able to see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. With FanDuel, there's a ton of ways for you to get in on the action. FanDuel, play your game. FanDuel Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, Zach. Are you smiling at my gorgeous canyon view?
No, Donald. I'm smiling because I've got something I want to tell the whole world.
Well, do it. Shout it out.
T-Mobile's got home internet.
Whoa, I love that echo. T-Mobile's got home internet.
How much is it?
Look at that, Zach. We got the neighbor's attention.
Just $35 a month. And you love a great deal, Denise.
Plus, they've got a 5-year price guarantee. That's 5 whole trips around the sun.
I'm switching. Me too.
Yes, T-Mobile home internet for the neighborhood.
Donald, you still haven't returned my weed whacker.
Carl, don't you embarrass me like this, please.
What's everyone yelling about?
T-Mobile's got home internet.
And Donald's got my weed whacker.
Yes, T-Mobile's got home internet. Just $35 a month with auto pay and any voice line. And it's guaranteed for 5 years.
Beautiful yodeling, Carl.
Taxes and fees apply. See T-Mobile.com/ISP for details and exclusions.
Hey, Chiefs fans, Crown Royal is the official whiskey of the Kansas City Chiefs. And this season, it's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. Grab a glass with the Crown Royal rig at a stadium near you, because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with a generous spirit. Visit www.crownroyal.com/royal rig for more on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. Please drink responsibly.
I'm Bopper.
founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Introducing your new Dell PC with the Intel Core Ultra processor. It helps you handle a lot, even when your holiday to-do list gets to be a lot. Like organizing your holiday shopping and searching for great holiday deals and customer questions and customers requesting custom things, plus planning the perfect holiday dinner for vegans, vegetarians, pescatarians, and Uncle Mike's carnivore diet. Luckily, you can get a PC with all-day battery life to help you get it all done. That's the power of a Dell PC with Intel inside, backed by Dell's price match guarantee. Get yours today at Dell.com/deals. Terms and conditions apply. See Dell.com for details.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by GAN Asphalt and Concrete. Still working the crash. 435 southbound just past 70. It is the left lane blocked. That's 2 cars. Move to the right to move through there. You'll at least tap your brakes, but it is moving just slowly. The world's coming to Kansas City in 2026. Is your parking lot ready? Faded lines, potholes, unsafe sidewalks. GAN Asphalt and Concrete is your winning team, one contractor, all things parking lot. Visit GANAsphalt.com today. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this. Welcome to your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
I want to kind of, I guess, get my thoughts out in real time and we can discuss them. Because I went home yesterday and I listened to certain parts of the show. And I was thinking back to texts that we were getting about Josh Simmons as the day was progressing. And I was trying to see things maybe in the perspective of people who have the opinion of it's none of our business. When the Chiefs tell us, when they're ready to tell us, they will tell us that we shouldn't talk about it in the meantime. And then when I got here and I was planning on kind of going through this thought process with you guys, we then get an update from Nate Taylor about what could potentially be the situation with Josh Simmons.
I do believe it's a family matter. I do believe, Josh Simmons is back in like the Southern California, San Diego area, which is, his hometown. I had the responsibility yesterday not to ask Andy Reid because I've done that already, but to really ask Patrick Mahomes, like, hey, man, have you talked to this guy? Patrick was very honest on Sunday saying he didn't know where Josh was and that, it's not every day the starting quarterback has to go to the coaching staff and say, where's the left tackle? And the coaching staff really doesn't have the best answer for your franchise quarterback. So when Patrick Mahomes said yesterday that he's praying for Josh Simmons, I think we all need to take that cue from the quarterback. And, I'm fearful, I guess, is probably the best way I can explain what I've heard.
This is, I guess, the thought process that I have when it comes to this. And this is directed to people, and I don't mean directed in like a negative sense, but I think this is directed to people that have the opinion of, why are you talking about this? We don't need to talk about this. When the Chiefs tell us it's none of our business. I think we at least have to acknowledge that we discuss athletes and entertainers in a way that we don't really discuss really any other group of people. Give me a lot of professions where we openly discuss their salaries. Some of you have best friends that you've known for 10, 20 years. You have no clue how much money they make. You have no clue how much the other people at their job make. You can go on the internet right now and look up exactly how much Patrick Mahomes makes. You can do the math and figure out how much he gets paid every single paycheck. You can figure out when Patrick Mahomes is getting a bonus. You can read Patrick Mahomes' contract if you wanted to online. That is a very unique situation, something that I would say is extremely personal in a lot of ways that has been made public information. I would say when it comes to family things, we discuss the relatives and family members of these people all the time. Just think about Mahomes, and maybe he is an unfair example, somebody who has been in the public eye now for a decade versus somebody who just got into the National Football League. You know Patrick Mahomes' mom, dad, brother, sister, wife, kids, dogs. We know a whole lot about Patrick Mahomes' personal life and talk to him about his personal life. Same thing for Travis Kelce. You basically are a member of the Kelce family now at this point. So I think at least in this conversation, I think we at least have to acknowledge this one part, that the line is very much blurred in what is private and what is public when things that are usually private for 99% of people, at least when it comes to them, is a very, very public thing. Tell me other professions where we openly talk about if they should be fired or not. We do that with professional athletes. We do that with coaches. I mean, you guys have fired Matt Nagy 6 times and it's week 7 of the NFL season. We openly talk about when players should be traded. We openly talk about when players' contracts should be voided. They signed a deal with their employer, and we look at when they could potentially be let go by their employer. Again, I understand that it's sports, so we look at it through a very different lens. And I understand that this is a potentially very serious family matter. I don't know what it is, but I do think for people who are very curious to know what is exactly going on with Josh Simmons, I do think it is a little bit unique where we are so involved in their personal life and we discuss their personal life ad nauseum. I mean, half of the job is talking about their personal life. It's not always talking about the games. Some of it is this thing happened off the field. How does it affect you at work? So I think it's hard, to remove yourself from, we talk about so many facets of their job to now when it comes to why are you not at work? Oh, wait, that's too personal. I don't know what it is with Josh Simmons. I have absolutely no clue. I don't know if we're ever going to find out exactly what it could potentially be, or maybe he decides to tell us. But I do think it is in people's normal curiosity and how we discuss athletes to want to try to find out the truth on why he is right now not with the team.
I think that's fair to point out that fans have a little bit of blurred lines when it comes to player privacy. And when it comes to Josh Simmons, I put this on social media. I honestly, at this point, don't need to know the why he's missing or not with the team. I just want to know a timetable and some clarity from the team on if they seem to know. They just kind of are burying their head in the sand saying it's a personal matter and trying to get the media to go away. But you're right. The text line, whenever we talk about Tyreek Hill, loves to talk about his divorces, the wife he has, the women he's dated, the children. They talk about Tyreek Hill's life. That's the text line. And then we turn around and talk about, hey, this player is missing from the facility. He's not at work. It's personal issues. And the text line then turns around and tells us, you guys need to be quiet. It's a personal issue. Well, you can't have both ways to me. So, and I'm definitely painting with a broad brush when it comes to the text line. But if you're the type of person who has texted in or gotten a joke off on social media about player X and their personal life, you can't turn around and head to social media or the text line, hey, we just need to be quiet and respect this man's privacy. It can't be both ways. And so, to your point, the lines are blurred with fans and what is and out of bounds with personal lives of athletes. And I think right now, because the Chiefs are basically telling us nothing, fans have taken a stance of that's fine, when sometimes the Chiefs or any organization tells us nothing and it's not fine. It's very much a moving goalpost.
Yeah, and I think here, though, someone just said, how many times or ways do they need to tell you the same thing? I think, at least for me, I think there are people trying to pry in and trying to figure it out. I mean, Rob, you and I work in this. There are definitely rumors about this. I'm just not really interested in sharing I heard this. Oh, I heard this. I think even when it comes to Nate, and you guys know, I love Nate. Nate has reported 2 different things when it comes to Josh Simmons. When this first started, it was related to an illness. That was the Monday Night Football game. So it was related to an illness. Then it became a family matter in the situation. So even with Nate Taylor, who I think is as plugged in as anybody, Nate's story doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me when it comes to all of this. So I think when it comes to how many times they need to tell you the same thing, I guess the answer for me would be until I feel like they're giving us information and or the truth. And that's why I said from the very, very beginning, I just don't know why they just didn't release a statement from the beginning. Josh Simmons is repped by what's the guy's name?
Drew Rosenhaus.
Drew Rosenhaus. My bad. I had it, then I lost it immediately. I lost right there on the top of my head. I lost it.
I thought you paused for dramatic effect.
No, I lost it. I was thinking and I lost it. He's repped by Drew Rosenhaus. Like literally one of the best sports agents you can possibly have. If there is anybody that knows how to deal with PR, it's Drew Rosenhaus. Drew Rosenhaus has been Tyreek Hill's agent from day one. So we know he knows how to deal with PR. Why didn't they release a statement from the very, very beginning? That's it. That's all they had to do. Some of this, I just think, could have very easily been avoided. I really think it could have very easily been avoided. I tell you guys, PR in 2025 is honestly one of the easiest things that you can possibly do. You might scream about cancel culture. We all know in 2025 the things that you can't say and could potentially get you canceled. I could have told you that if you're secretive about why a player is not playing, it's going to inquire for everybody to try to figure out what's going on. Release a statement from the very, very beginning. That's all you had to do. Josh Simmons is dealing with a very serious personal matter. When he feels comfortable to tell us that, he will tell us that. All you had to do was release a statement from the very, very beginning, and we could have just avoided this conversation when it came to Joshua Simmons. Keep it right here, it's The Drive.
The Drive with CDOT. Tune in as Nate Taylor of ESPN joins the show in studio every Friday at 4 on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. The Drive, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Is your everyday congestion preventing you from enjoying life's big moments? Try Vicks Sinex Saline today and get yourself back in the action. Vicks Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion with a gentle ultrafine mist. Sinex Saline's drug-free, no-mess formula instantly moisturizes and soothes dry, irritated nasal passages for quick and effective relief. Get back to enjoying life's big moments to the fullest without having to worry about everyday congestion holding you back. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Last year, we bought over 54,000 cars from your friends and neighbors at GiveMeTheVin.com. Why did they sell us their cars? It's because you're worth more, and your car's worth more. I know that, and you know that. That's why I created GiveMeTheVin.com. It's the fastest and easiest way for you to sell your car for more money when it's time to sell. I'm sitting here waiting on the other end of GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Looking for the ultimate spot to watch Sunday football? It's all happening at Brew Brothers inside Harris Casino, Kansas City. With NFL Sunday Ticket, you'll catch every game, every Sunday. So no matter who you root for, your team is always on. Add in ice-cold drinks, mouth-watering food, and a crowd that loves football just like you. And you've got the perfect game day atmosphere. Every snap, every score, every Sunday. Brew Brothers is football headquarters. Be there this weekend at Harris's Kansas City. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Another summer is ended, and you may have noticed that your energy is lower, your workouts aren't as productive, perhaps you aren't sleeping as well and feel foggy all the time, maybe even your sex drive is off. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're experiencing some or all of these symptoms, it's likely you have low testosterone. And if that's what's going on with you, don't wait. You need to call us at Heartland Men's Health and get treated for your low T, because living with low testosterone is no way to live. With our low T treatments, if you're like most guys, your life will change considerably. Improved sleep, better energy, greater gains in the gym, better mental clarity, and your sex drive will likely improve as well. Plus, most men see these results in just a few weeks. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes PSA and T-test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, I'm Maria, salon owner. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic, made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next-day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Is your everyday congestion preventing you from enjoying life's big moments? Try Vicks Sinex Saline today and get yourself back in the action. Vicks Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion with a gentle ultrafine mist. Sinex Saline's drug-free, no-mess formula instantly moisturizes and soothes dry, irritated nasal passages for quick and effective relief. Get back to enjoying life's big moments to the fullest without having to worry about everyday congestion holding you back. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. Still working the crash. 435 southbound just past 70. It is the left lane blocked. That's 2 cars. Move to the right to move through there. You'll at least tap your brakes, but it is moving just slowly. The World's coming to Kansas City in 2026. Is your parking lot ready? Faded lines, potholes, unsafe sidewalks. Gann Asphalt and Concrete is your winning team, one contractor, all things parking lot. Visit GannAsphalt.com today. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
The only place in town to hear the hypothetical button game is On the Drive with Carrington Harrison.
I don't know if this counts as speculation or not. I certainly don't mean for it to be the case, because this one gentleman is very upset about this. And he sent in, Carrington, what does it matter? He's not on the team. It doesn't matter what the reason is. What more do you guys want? This is one of the reasons why I think this is so important, and I think it's just intellectually dishonest to act like his absence doesn't mean anything. Again, maybe this is hypothesizing, and I don't mean to do that. I'm not throwing this out there. What if Josh Simmons on Sunday woke up and decided, I don't want to play football anymore? What if that happened? Don't know if it happened, not saying that it did happen. What if that's what happened? What if Josh Simmons on Sunday woke up and said, you know what, man, I don't know if I can do this anymore. I need to go home. How do you put that guy back on your football team? That's a legitimate question to ask, is it not? If you on the day of a game just woke up one day and decided, I don't want to play football anymore, you don't really have one of those jobs that you can just up and leave like that. Right? So that's what I'm saying is like the why he is gone matters to me, at least, on why it is. If it's a family matter and we end up finding that out, that his mom is sick and you were gone for 2 weeks to take care of your mom, then great. Everybody would have done that in that situation. Man, you found out your mom got breast cancer, you're gone, you're out for 2 weeks, and that's why you were gone. If you want to tell us that, it's perfectly fine. But I think what has happened with Josh Simmons is their secrecy around things has led people to assume a lot of different things. Rob, you and I know this. I've heard like 5 different reasons, both on the air and off the air, of why Josh Simmons isn't on the team. Some of them are little things. Some of them are potentially serious things about what, like, so that's what I'm saying is, for us to act like this is normal, I think is being dishonest. There is not another situation like this currently in the National Football League where an impactful player, I don't think we'd be having this conversation if it was Derek Nottie, for example. I mean, I'd like to know where Derek Nottie is, but I don't think we'd be having this conversation. Josh Simmons, if we are like doing a draft of for the future, who are the most important players on the Kansas City Chiefs, he might be second. If Mahomes is one, and we all agree that the quarterback is number one, if you are doing hey, this player currently on the team is an all-pro caliber player in 2028, who would you pick for it to be? I think the next answer is Josh Simmons. And if you're going to tell me that you have a all-pro left tackle for your 33-year-old quarterback, that is a significant advantage. So I do think like acting like him not being here isn't that big of a deal. Well, I don't know if it's a big deal or not because I don't know why he's not here. So I can't really give you an opinion on how much it matters or doesn't matter if I don't have the answer to the question.
And we see this largely the same way. Where me and you just differ a little bit is one day we will find out the why. I'm not so pressed for the why right now. It seems like their answers after their lack of clarity on the why have confused me. Because what Andy Reid said Sunday versus what Andy Reid said Wednesday aren't the same. He was asked a very clear question on Monday by Nate Taylor during his Zoom press conference. Hey, do you have a timetable on Josh Simmons and his return? He didn't really have an answer. Now, maybe the team inside the organization knows that answer, but the fact that it's not known why he's missing, you haven't communicated a timeline to us, and then I truly believe Andy Reid was just saying this as a defense mechanism, but it opens up a new wave of questions. When he said on Wednesday, I don't have any comment on that, Brett Veach is handling it. What do you mean Brett Veach is handling it? What is Brett Veach handling? What is there a roster move coming? Is he going to be put on the non-football injury list? Like what is it only creates another set and wave of speculation. So I feel like me and you differ a little bit. I'd like to know the why, and I feel like if we knew the why, a lot of these questions would resolve themselves. But since we don't, they haven't answered any of the questions after that well, and it has been PR disaster 101. They've only opened themselves up to more speculation, more rumors, more hearsay, more innuendo, any of those things because they just haven't communicated a clear timetable or messaging since it happened.
Yeah, and I mean, the text line is just pushing back. They don't have to communicate the timeline to you guys. Oh, all right, if you guys want to move on, that's perfectly fine with me.
I don't want to argue the text line all day.
Yeah, no,
if they said 3 weeks versus they said 8 weeks, it's a very different thing for the team and covering the team. Like, not knowing the timeline means this conversation happens every week. If they just said we think it's going to be 3 or 4 weeks, cool. If they think it's going to be 6 or 8, cool. But TBD is just an odd answer to me.
Yeah, I guess I also think, and I agree with this, and I swear you can move on after this. Like, this is something that I think you can only get away with in a Midwest market. If Josh Simmons was on the Giants or on the Cowboys and did this, it would be the number one. It'd be the number one story on First Take. If Josh Simmons was on the Dallas Cowboys and just left on Sunday, it'd be the number one story. Where is he? Why is he not here? It'd be a major, major deal if that was the case. Let's play this for you guys. This was Matt Rule. He was on the Pat McAfee show talking about the impact of the college football playoff.
Let's just play it all out. Like, that's why the NFL, like, you're not voting on who's going to make the playoffs in week 6. You're just watching them and letting the games play out. And forever, college football has been an elimination tournament. Win once and you're out. And we got the playoff. And so now you can have good matchups and good games. And you lose a game, you can fight back. Like last year, we were talking about 9-3 teams getting in, which I think is great. Because now you can go play good games, have excitement throughout the year, and then have a lot to talk about the last 3 weeks of the season.
I will say this, and this is one thing that, like, in hindsight, I was just wrong about when it came to the college football playoff. I do think I was right that all they've done is just really reconfigure the bowl system. Like, players told you we don't want to play in these bowls, and now you made those bowls part of the playoff, and now it ends up mattering. I do think that it has measured success in a very different way than we had with the 4-team playoff. Like back when we had the BCS bowl games, for example, for Kansas. Yes, Kansas didn't compete for the national championship, but going to the Orange Bowl and winning the Orange Bowl is a tremendous accomplishment. That, yes, they were not close to winning the national championship, but you got to leave with something. I do think that the inclusion of the playoff has now made it a point where, man, the goal isn't to make the college football playoff. Let's be realistic here. I don't think Indiana can win the national championship. I mean, it'd be great if they won the national championship, but I'm at least be realistic and assume that Indiana can't win the national championship. If Indiana makes it again and wins a game in the college football playoff, that is one of the most tremendous accomplishments in the history of college football. People will not look at it that way. But the fact that Indiana, who had never won at least 9 games in a college football season in back-to-back years, outright earned it, not something fluky, earned it on the field, went to the college football playoff, went on the road last year, turned around. We look like they could host a game or even have a bye in the college football playoff and then be in a position to win and potentially go on a run. It will be one of the greatest stories in the history of the sport. This kind of stuff just doesn't happen. So I think when you factor in all of the changes that you have in the sport, you have name, image, and likeness, you have the transfer portal, and now that there are so many different pathways to you being included in the college football playoff, where now 12 teams can make it, and we're possibly talking about 16 teams making it, I think when you start to have that level of interest in it, and now it just spreads things out. Now Missouri thinks they have a shot. Ole Miss has a shot. Texas A&M has a shot. That you have spread things out. I do think I was so focused on who wins the tournament ultimately, and I do still think that that is a small number of it. I think more than anything, it has now become, well, who can be included in the tournament? And now you've opened that up to 50 or 60 teams, and that's really the race. That's really the value right now of the sport. Coming up on the other side, today is a very important anniversary in sports. We'll talk about it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This one brought to you by Shawnee Mission Ford. You get it all, a great selection of new Fords, plus a lifetime powertrain warranty, along with a 1-year Select Plus protection. View the inventory at ShawneeMissionFord.com. From America for America. Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more. Now we're on a mission to get you home, and that's a crash in the way. 435 southbound, just past 70. It is the right lane blocked. Now a new crash, 435 northbound, the on-ramp from 210 Highway. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
I don't sell lab-grown diamonds because they represent everything that can be bad about the jewelry industry and are the opposite of why my family is in it. This is Gene at House of Diamonds. I opened my diamond and custom jewelry shop to build relationships of trust with my customers. Prior to opening House of Diamonds, I worked at other jewelry stores and saw how that trust can be betrayed. And now I'm seeing it again with those who are selling lab-grown diamonds for thousands, nearly all of it profit, knowing that they are worth nothing the second they leave the store. So if you ever want to sell that lab diamond or want to trade up, you have literally nothing to sell or trade. That will never happen at House of Diamonds. We guarantee a trade-in value of 100% of the price you paid us for your hand-selected natural diamond. Don't become a lab-grown diamond victim. Learn more at mybigrock.com. And then come see me at House of Diamonds on the southeast corner of College and Quivira.
FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is coming to Missouri. On December 1st, you'll finally be able to bet on all your favorite teams and all your favorite sports. With FanDuel, there's a ton of ways for you to get in on the action. You can bet everything from the money line to over-unders to which team will win it all. You'll be able to build parlays, bet player props, or even ride the live line. Whatever your style, FanDuel has you covered. Plus, with live betting, you can pick which player will score the next touchdown or the touchdown after that. However you play your game, FanDuel's got your back. On December 1st, you'll be able to see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. With FanDuel, there's a ton of ways for you to get in on the action. FanDuel, play your game. FanDuel Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is the take care of my family goal. This is the enjoy the life I've built goal. This is the set up a foundation goal. This is Busey, where your goals become lasting legacies. Through bespoke plans that maximize your wealth, through partnerships that give you peace of mind. Because building wealth, tending to it, and passing it down secures a brighter future. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
Yellowstone. The epic ranching drama is now a Kansas Lottery scratch ticket and your ticket to experiences you can't get anywhere else. Top prize of $25,000, plus second chance drawings that let you live the show. Attend a premiere or visit the set, but know what you're getting into. Just kidding. This is a game, not the show. Play Yellowstone. See KSLottery.com for details.
Man, if your stream isn't as strong as it used to be, or you're taking more breaks to the bathroom than the last 2 minutes of a televised football game,
there's another timeout. We'll be back after this.
it's time to get checked. An enlarged prostate, or BPH, could be the cause. And Kansas City Urology Care is here to help. Fast answers, trusted care. Don't wait. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. Visit kcuc.com today. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
Listen up, folks. I want to tell you guys about my new obsession. It's Daisy French Onion Dip. With football season here, it is the perfect dip for your chips, your wings. The delicious Daisy French Onion Dip and the Daisy Ranch Dip, they're game changers. They're delicious as a homemade dip, and they're made with real herbs and real spices and also ingredients that you'd find right there in your kitchen. So the next time you're having people come over to celebrate the start of the football season, you better make sure you have one thing, and I'm talking about that Daisy French Onion Dip. You can find it the next time you go to the grocery store.
Hey, Zach. Are you smiling at my gorgeous canyon view?
No, Donald. I'm smiling because I've got something I want to tell the whole world.
Well, do it. Shout it out.
T-Mobile's got home internet.
Whoa, I love that echo. T-Mobile's got home internet.
How much is it?
Look at that, Zach. We got the neighbors' attention.
Just $35 a month. And you love a great deal, Denise.
Plus, they've got a 5-year price guarantee. That's 5 whole trips around the sun.
I'm switching. Me too.
Yes, T-Mobile home internet for the neighborhood.
Donald, you still haven't returned my weed whacker.
Carl, don't you embarrass me like this, please.
What's everyone yelling about?
T-Mobile's got home internet. And Donald's got my weed whacker.
Yes, T-Mobile's got home internet. Just $35 a month with auto pay and any voice line. And it's guaranteed for 5 years.
Beautiful yodeling, Carl.
Taxes and fees apply. See T-Mobile.com/ISP for details and exclusions.
J. Rieger & Co. Oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City. J. Rieger & Co. Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Winner of Best Craft Bourbon at the 2025 Ascot Awards. At 90 proof, it's rich, well-balanced, and oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City.
Hey, it's Rashi Rice. The Chiefs Radio Network pregame show starts 3 hours before kickoff, right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
All right, welcome back into the show. My name is Carrington Harrison. Happy to be here with Rob Brenton. All right, today is a very important anniversary in sports. Today is the anniversary of, quite possibly, the greatest coaching rant ever.
The Bears are what we thought they were. They're what we thought they were. We played them in preseason. Who the hell takes a third game in a preseason like it's bull? We played them in the third game. Everybody played 3 quarters. The Bears are who we thought they were. And that's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
What really trips me out about this whole thing, and we'll play some other coaching rants here coming up in just a bit. That 2006 Bears team could quite possibly be the most random Super Bowl team of our lifetime. This was in 2006. The Bears went 13-3 with a quarterback who completed 54% of his passes, had 23 touchdowns and 20 interceptions. Rob, Rex Grossman, their starting quarterback, had a quarterback rating of 73.9. It is not like this Bears team went to the Super Bowl in 1991 like it was some distant memory. No, they went to the Super Bowl when you were in high school or college or when some of you were adults. Like, we're talking about, this is a pretty modern Super Bowl that the Bears ended up going to, and the league has changed so drastically over the last 19 years since this last happened. I mean, this team, their leading receiver had 800 yards. They went to the Super Bowl and were pretty clearly the second best team in the National Football League. I'm trying to think, since that Bears team in 2006 that went to the Super Bowl, who is the most random team that we've had make the Super Bowl? Is it that second Giants team? Not that first one. Is it the second Giants team? Is it the Joe Flacco team? Like, we're sitting back there and wondering, hey, how did that Ravens team end up making the Super Bowl? I'm trying to figure it out, as today is the 19-year anniversary. We're 1 year away from the 20-year anniversary of the Dennis Green rant. Who's the most random Super Bowl appearing team since that Bears team in 2006?
Maybe this is a cop-out of an answer, but does Nick Foles' Eagles count? Because Carson Wentz was an MVP candidate. He got hurt late in the season. They went to journeyman Nick Foles. Did you think Nick Foles was going to win 2 postseason games, then the Super Bowl? Like, I know we look back at that team and like, oh, they were really talented. I believe they were the 1 seed in the NFC, but they were Doug Peterson coached, who's now out of the NFL. They were Nick Foles quarterbacked, who was a journeyman and also now out of the NFL. And they beat, the best modern dynasty we've seen in the Patriots? Like, is the answer Nick Foles Eagles for the last random one we've seen?
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's the answer, but you're right. I mean, that team was the 1 seed in the NFC, so they had a bye week, and then they just had to win with Nick Foles. You're right. Certainly one of those kind of teams. Like, a lot of people are pointing out on the text line, I think we all know this, C-Dot, that Bears team was carried by the defense and Devin Hester. I'm saying is, in less than 20 years, the Bears are not possible anymore. You can't. That Bears team in 2006, you could not go to the Super Bowl. In fact, this Bears team couldn't make the playoffs in today's National Football League. Number one, you can't play defense the way that they played. I mean, their best 2 players were linebackers. They were linebackers, middle linebackers at that. Like, you would think if you went to a Super Bowl and your quarterback was Rex Grossman, who had a 78 quarterback rating, you would need to have a guy on defense that had like 24 sacks that year. Like, you would just need one of those truly gifted kind of seasons. I mean, their best defensive player didn't have a sack. It was Brian Urlacher. He had 142 tackles that year, didn't have a sack. Now, he was amazing that season, but in just a short period of time, like, we have seen the league change in such a way where a team that went 13-3 and was clearly the best team in the NFC that season, they couldn't function in the modern game. You could not do it this way anymore. You couldn't do it the way that the Ravens did in 2000 anymore with just the defense that held teams to 13.8 points per game. Like, the rules have changed so much, and quarterbacks have gotten so much better, and offenses have improved by such leaps and bounds in such a short period of time that you can't do it this way anymore. And that's why, like, I don't know if we're going to have too many of those random teams that pop up where you're going to say, I can't believe that team. Like, in what world do you see the Colts, even if the Colts end up having the best defense in the league, in what world do you see a team that has Daniel Jones as their quarterback in 2025, 2026, leading you to a Super Bowl? Like, even then, you'd have to be like a Jimmy Garoppolo, Brock Purdy type, where they just put you on a team that has Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Trent Williams, George Kittle. Like, you can be an average quarterback surrounded by incredible offensive talent. I don't know if you can even build a defense good enough that could carry the offense that they had that year. So we are celebrating the 19-year anniversary of Dennis Green.
The Bears are what we thought they were. They're what we thought they were. We played them in preseason. Who the hell takes a third game in a preseason like it's bull? We played them in the third game. Everybody played 3 quarters. The Bears are who we thought they were. And that's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
I want to play for you guys a couple of my favorite coaching rants because, I mean, who doesn't love a good coaching rant? I think this one is underrated. Everybody talks about Jim Moore and the playoffs. So everybody talks about. That's not the best one. This is the best Jim Moore coaching rant.
We couldn't do diddly poo offensively. We couldn't make a first down. We couldn't run the ball. We didn't try to run the ball. We couldn't complete a pass. The second half, We couldn't stop the run. Every time they got the ball, they went down and got points. We got our totally kicked in the second half.
That's a very underrated one. People don't give that one nearly enough respect. I get why the playoffs is such a big deal because every year it's very relevant. Playoffs, I get why people love that one. The best Jim Moore rant is diddly poo. So I asked you earlier, I said, hey, are you going to tell me what your favorite coaching rant is? And Rob lit up and he said, this is his favorite one.
I turn and look, there's a little kitty cat in our kitchen. So I said, what are you doing in here, little kitty cat? By that time, the cat turns, tries to get back out. That screen won't go that way. Cat starts going, meow, all crazy. And I told our players, we need more dogs. Bo's barking in the back. I have to go shut Bo up. Mel's like, what's going on? I said, there's a cat in the house. Cat in the house? I said, yeah, there's a cat in the house. So I told our players, I tried to let it out the front door. Meow, meow, the cat's still going crazy in there. And I told our players, you need to be more like a dog. We don't need a bunch of cats in here looking in the mirror. Do I look good? I got my extra bands on. I got my other shoes on. Be a dog. We don't need no meows. We don't need no cats. We need more dogs.
That's your favorite coaching rant?
I mean, how often do you hear a coach meow in a press conference? Have you ever heard that before?
No, I haven't heard that.
I've covered some press conferences. You've covered some press conferences. I've never heard a press conference where a coach meows. So, yeah, that is my favorite one.
Okay, no, I'm not mad at that. If that one's your favorite one, I mean, everybody's entitled what their favorite coaching rant is. 913-586-7965. Today is the 19-year anniversary of Dennis Green. I'll never forget. I was watching the Dennis Green one live because if you remember, it was Monday Night Football. The Cardinals had a big lead, and then Devin Hester happened. They kicked it to Devin Hester 2 times. I don't know why they did that. He returned 2 punts in the game. The Bears had a defensive touchdown, and the Bears just went and won the game. And then you know what they always do. Monday Night Football comes on, and then on SportsCenter, they then go to the coach, the press conference. We then hear from it. The Dennis Green rant happened live on SportsCenter. I think that's also one of the reasons why it's just lasted so long, the game when it happened. And then obviously the Bears, they went on to have a fantastic season. We'll read some of you guys' favorite coaching rants coming up on the other side. I asked Rob to do an exercise. I asked Rob to write down who he thinks are the top 5 teams in the National Football League. I did the same. We'll see how similar our lists are. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Tune in Mondays at 4 to hear the play-by-play voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holtis, on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan.
Hey, Mr. C, it's me. Well, I just picked up the ring. I actually went to Hellsberg. Thanks for that recommendation. Kate's gonna love that hers is from the same jeweler you got Mrs. C's ring from. They were so helpful throughout the whole process. They even knew your family by name. And the ring looks great. Anyways, I just couldn't wait to let you guys know. Call me back and wish me luck.
Hellsberg, designed with care and craft since 1915. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
Hey friends, it's noisy out there with information coming at us all day, every day. It's hard to know what to trust, and the world of wealth management is no exception. That's why UMB Private Wealth Management helps you tune out the noise and tune into what matters most. They'll create a financial plan based on your unique goals, so it's your voice that comes through loud and clear. Get financial clarity. Go to umb.com/privatewealth to schedule an appointment. That's umb.com/privatewealth.
Looking for the ultimate spot to watch Sunday football? It's all happening at Brew Brothers inside Harris Casino, Kansas City. With NFL Sunday Ticket, you'll catch every game, every Sunday. So no matter who you root for, your team is always on. Add in ice-cold drinks, mouth-watering food, and a crowd that loves football just like you. And you've got the perfect game day atmosphere. Every snap, every score, every Sunday. Brew Brothers is football headquarters. Be there this weekend at Harris's Kansas City. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
When it comes to buying a car, simple wins. Rob Sight Ford has the inventory, the trade values, and the non-commissioned team that puts you first. No pressure, just 4.8 stars on Google for a reason. ROBSIGHT.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next-day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
My debit card.
their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A., member FDIC.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text. Text BEACH to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text BEACH to 42424. That's BEACH to 42424.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This one brought to you by KC Wind Supply Group Vendor Showcase, Thursday, October 23rd at J. Rieger & Company Distillery. We've got a crash now, 29 northbound, just past Davidson. The right lane is blocked. Crash down, Grandview, 49 northbound at Main, right lane blocked there. Discover the latest HVAC plumbing and trade solutions with companies like A.O. Smith and 20-plus other vendors at the KC Wind Supply Group Vendor Showcase, Thursday, October 23rd, 3 to 6 p.m. at J. Rieger & Company Distillery. Enjoy complimentary food, drinks, tours, prizes, and networking. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Trey Smith from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to the Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back into the show. I want to play these two before we move forward to our power rankings. So I asked Rob to write down his top 5 teams in the National Football League. I did mine as well. I also gave Rob an honorable mention, and we'll go through and we'll see how close our lists are of who the top teams are currently in the National Football League. So we were celebrating. Today is the 19-year anniversary of the Dennis Green They Are Who We Thought They Were rant. I played my favorite coaching rant. Rob picked his favorite coaching rant, and we asked the text line to offer up some suggestions. I would say that these have been the 2 most popular suggestions on the text line. This is an oldie, but a goodie.
That's why I don't read the newspaper. Because it's garbage. And the editor that let it come out is garbage. Attacking an amateur athlete for doing everything right. And then you want to write articles about guys that don't do things right and downgrade them, the ones that do make plays. Are you kidding me? Where are we at in society today? Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40. I'm not a kid.
That was Mike Gundy, his I'm a man, I'm 40 rant that he made back in 2007. Last one we'll play for you. This was a very, very popular one on the text line. Mike Singletary.
Vernon just, it was something that I told everybody at the very beginning of the week. I will not tolerate players that think it's about them when it's about the team. And we cannot make decisions that cost the team and then come off the sideline and it's nonchalant. No. You know what? This is how I believe, okay? I'm from the old school. I believe this. I would rather play with 10 people and just get penalized all the way until we got to do something else, rather than play with 11 when I know that right now that person is not sold out to be a part of this team. It is more about them than it is about the team. I cannot play with them, cannot win with them, cannot coach with them, can't do it. I want winners. I want people that want to win.
That is Mike Singletary, as he was the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers, telling Vernon, you know what, I'd rather play with 10 than play with 11 when I know that one person, he is not out here trying to pursue the exact same thing that I'm trying to pursue out here. All right, Rob, let's move forward. This is what I would like to do. I wrote down who I think currently, as of right now, I think these are the 5 best teams in the National Football League. I asked you to do the exact same thing. So we're going to go through our top 5. We're also going to have our honorable mention. You are allowed to nominate one team that is on the outside of this. Hit the music, Rob. On my honorable mention, on the outside looking in, I have the Buffalo Bills. This is why I have the Buffalo Bills. If they had lost one of the games to the bad teams and then beat one of the decent teams, I would still have a very high opinion of the Buffalo Bills and could keep them on this list. But you can't only beat up on the rum-dums of the National Football League, and then when you play actual decent teams, it's not like they're losing to on the road against Kansas City, on the road against Philadelphia. That would be a little bit understandable. They lost at home to New England, who, to me, feels like a very average team. And then they went on the road to Atlanta and also, again, lost to a very random team. I just don't know how much I can trust this Buffalo Bills team. I got to see them beat somebody, anybody with a pulse. Sure, they beat on the Ravens earlier in the season. Maybe you're giving them credit for that, but now we know how the season has kind of turned out. 3 straight weeks, they beat up on the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Saints. The Jets, their coach might only get one season. I think Miami's about to fire their coach. I think the Saints are quite possibly the worst team in the NFC. When you played anybody that could potentially fight back, you lost. I just don't think Buffalo's going to win 11 or 12 games this season. But right now, I got to pick teams that got better resumes and have done more so far in 2025 than you have. I got Buffalo on my honorable mention. I got them on the outside looking in a top 5 teams right now in the National Football League.
All right, so I want to specify the criteria I used before I start. It is what have you done so far.
I'm ranking them right now based on the information that we have right now in the middle of October.
It is not what I think is coming. It is not any of those things.
At least for me, I can't tell you how to do your power rankings. I'm ranking it right now on, if I saw this team play this team, who would I pick to win the game? If they played at a neutral site, who would I pick to win these games? So that's how I try to do my neutral site. Everybody is even. They're going over to London. They're playing these games. What team would I pick?
So I don't adhere to that criteria. I'm saying, what have you done so far in the league through week 6? What are the 5 best and honorable mention teams in the NFL? So honorable mention, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the Chiefs will end the season at number 1 or number 2. I think the pivot we've seen in the offense from after the first 3 weeks is enormous. I think that pivot is going to get bigger once they add Rashee Rice. I think, as I told you earlier in the show, that defensive effort against the Lions is being slept on as an idea, as a concept, as how they played. I think that defense may have turned the corner. I think their win against the Lions is as impressive as any win in the NFL this season. But you are a 3-3 team with a bad loss to the Jags, because I think the Jags are about to disappear from our lives because they lost at home to the Seahawks. And I think you had another bad loss at home to the Eagles. I think the Eagles are waffling and are on shaky ground. They're looking a lot more like the 2023 Eagles. So it is based on what you have done by October 16th at 4:23. So I have the Chiefs as my honorable mention just on the outside looking in.
For number 5, I have the Philadelphia Eagles. I have the Eagles as the 5th best team in the league right now. Now, I admit some of this is based off their history and based on what I've seen them do in the past, but we're still talking about a 4-2 football team that I believe is going to turn things around at some point. I know it's been a little bit shaky, but I think that we are starting to overreact a little bit too much when it comes to certain teams when you have certain swoons. They lost to a Broncos team that I think is pretty good. They also went on the road and they lost on Thursday Night Football. Now, let's see what they look like. They come back from a bye week and they go on the road and they play the Minnesota Vikings. That is a good team. But, I mean, I saw this Eagles team. I saw them beat 4 good teams to kick off the season. They beat Dallas. I think Dallas is a respectable team. They went on the road and they beat Kansas City. They beat the Rams at home, and everybody loves Tampa Bay. They went on the road and they beat Tampa Bay. You get credit for that. I got Philly as the 5th best team in the league right now, but I will admit they feel kind of shaky right now. I'm not sure how much I can trust them. I am a little bit worried about Saquon Barkley. Barkley hasn't ran for 100 yards in a game so far this season. He was maybe the best player in the league last year. I'm going to go with 5 for Philly.
Full disclosure, I don't have Philly in my top 5.
Wow, okay.
For all the reasons you just said. And I feel like they kind of stole a win against the Rams. Like, if I know if we change the outcome, blah, blah, blah. But if the Rams just get that kick off, the Eagles are what, 3-3? Like, we feel very different about the Eagles. And A.J. Brown and Nick Sirianni are gearing up for a fight. At number 5, I have the Bills. Everything you said about the Bills, for why they're your honorable mention, I feel the same way, but I have them at 5 ahead of the Chiefs in honorable mention because they are 4-2. And winning has to matter. The Chiefs lost the game they shouldn't have lost. The Bills have lost games they shouldn't have lost, but they've won more than the Chiefs. If it is January and those two teams are playing in Kansas City, I'm easily taking the Chiefs. But the criteria I'm using is it's week 6. We're the 5 best teams in the league. I think right now the Bills come in at number 5.
I got number 4. I got the Indianapolis Colts. I think the Colts right now are a top 5 team in the National Football League. I mean, I have to factor in. I have to factor in what you've done so far this season. Like, why are we playing these games if I'm not going to factor in how you've played so far this season?
I think 4 is low.
You have the Colts higher than that.
I have the Colts just peek behind the covers. I have the Colts at 2.
Interesting. I have the Colts at 4.
You're 5-1. You're the best team in the AFC record-wise right now. You have the coach of the year. You might have the comeback player of the year. Like, Lou Anarumo has that defense balling. Like, I have the Colts at 2, so I'm curious why you have them at 4.
Yeah, I think some of it is just as I'm not a full believer of them yet. And tomorrow, if you put the Colts on a neutral site against the teams that I have ahead of them, I would pick these other teams ahead of the Indianapolis Colts. So that really matters to me when it comes to all of this. I'm looking at the Colts, and we could play this game, I think, with a couple of different teams. But, man, I mean, the game that they had against the Broncos, I mean, the one decent team that they've played so far this season, they shouldn't have won that game. They really shouldn't have beat the Broncos earlier this season. I mean, their wins are Miami, Denver, Tennessee, Las Vegas, and Arizona without Kyler Murray. So it's not like I've seen this Colts team really beat up on some of the big dogs. Now, this is the very important week for them. They go on the road and play the Chargers. The Chargers are a good team. So if the Colts go on the road and take care of business against the Los Angeles Chargers, then yeah, I'm happy to sing a different tune next week if we end up doing this exercise. But as of right now, yeah, I'm still going to have very cautious optimism about the Indianapolis Colts, and that's why I got them at 4.
I got a surprise at 4. And you know what? James Palmer mentioned this team, and I'm elated he mentioned this team because they're coming in at number 4 for me. The Seattle Seahawks. Seattle is quietly...
I didn't even consider putting Seattle on my list.
Seattle is quietly one of the best
I didn't even consider putting them on my list.
I'm telling you right now, Seattle has 2 losses. They have the loss at home, the Niners, and the Bucks, who I will tell you I have the Bucks very high on this list.
I think Seattle's the 3rd best team in their own division.
No chance. They're the 3rd best team in the NFC right now. Period. They are fantastic. Sam Darnold's playing at a really high level, and you always tell me about the schedule game. The win on the road in Pittsburgh is as quality of a win as we've seen this year.
And they also went on the road and beat Jacksonville,
Those are 2... By the way, Jacksonville at noon. That's a long flight. They go over there, and they dominated Jacksonville.
That's fair.
So Seattle comes in at number 4. Do I think they're winning the Super Bowl? No. But again, my criteria was week 6. Seattle comes in at number 4.
I got the Detroit Lions as number 3 on this list. I still think the Lions are a very, very good football team. And going on the road and getting handled by Kansas City, to me, is not a damning thing to me, and that shouldn't remove you from being a part of this conversation. I mean, their losses this year are on the road against Green Bay and on the road against Kansas City. You certainly can live with either one of those losses. I still think the Lions can score with any team in the National Football League. I trust their defense to get healthy. I still think the Lions are obviously a Super Bowl contending team. I got the Lions right now as number 3 on my power ranking.
We finally have one of the same. I have the Lions at number 3.
Okay.
Everything you've said, I agree with the Lions. I'm actually and I've already told you, I have the Colts at number 2. So I'm very curious you have number 2. And if you have the team I think you have at number 2, then we are going to have a very serious conversation about the schedule game. But go ahead. Tell me who your number 2 team is.
I got the Chiefs at number 2.
I thought you were going to pick the Packers.
I got the Chiefs at number 2. This is why I got the Chiefs at number 2. I think a lot of it is somewhat betting on the future. And I can acknowledge that I think the Chiefs are sort of grandfathered in. You know what the Chiefs are like? The Chiefs are like how we're slow to move off of a ranked team when it comes to college football. Like, man, I'm going to give Miami the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give Ohio State the benefit of the doubt. This is why I have the Chiefs so high on my power ranking. I am seeing an offense that is starting to figure things out with a top 10 defense figuring things out. And I am going to weigh the games differently for Kansas City at the beginning of the season when they didn't have Xavier Worthy, where at least in my opinion, if the Chiefs would have had Worthy for one of the 2 games, I think they win one of those games. Like, if you're telling me Xavier Worthy is healthy this entire year, I don't think they lose to both the Chargers and the Eagles. I think they win one of those 2 games. So I think that drastically changed the early portion of the season for Kansas City. I'm not going to knock them too hard. I still think they're the best team in the AFC. I'm not picking any of these other teams right now. Buffalo hasn't shown me they're better than Kansas City. They haven't beaten anybody so far this year. Tomorrow, if the Chiefs played the Colts, I would pick the Chiefs to win that game. So I got to be true to at least who I would pick in these conversations. I got Kansas City right now as the second best team in the league, which I'm willing to acknowledge that I am a little bit inconsistent in all of this. And I do acknowledge that right now, the team that I think is possibly the best in the AFC also is currently seated 8th in the AFC race and might not be the best team in their own division. So some of it is I'm betting at what I'm seeing with the Chiefs over these last 3 weeks and their offense and their defense possibly coming together and them ramping up and getting ready for that second portion of the season when they start to play all of these teams that are in the mix.
I agree with you that in probably November, maybe Halloween, November, December, January, the Chiefs will ascend to 1 on my list. If the season goes how I predict the season will go, the Chiefs will be number 1. I think you're doing a lot of look ahead on your list, though,
I can live with that.
More than what has happened, because you just told me one of the biggest reasons you're number 2 is if Xavier Worthy wasn't hurt, it'd be different. But he did get hurt.
He did get hurt.
They played the game. They didn't just stop. They didn't just wave their arms and say, listen, hey, here's the deal. Xavier Worthy's hurt, so we're stopping the game. Everyone, playing accordingly. The game kept going, and they lost the games without him. Now, you're right. They are a different team when he's on the field. But those games that were played where he wasn't on the field, it seems like a little bit unfair that the criteria you hold the Chiefs to is, hey, it would have been different if they were healthy. Why not play that game with all the teams? The Lions didn't have anyone in their secondary last week, Carrington. Do you think they would have won if they had their starting corners? Are you going to bump them up because we just don't know? It feels like your criteria is a little choosy on when it gets used.
No, that's fair. I can live with that.
That's why I had the Chiefs an honorable mention. I also think we're going to have the same team number 1 because the team number 1's obvious.
I think I would love to hear the answer right now. If you are making a power ranking and you don't have Tampa Bay at 1, I would love to hear the why you don't have Tampa Bay at 1, because I would say they check off every criteria so far this season. They went on the road and beat Atlanta. They went on the road and beat Seattle. They just beat San Francisco. They're 5-1 right now. They might have the MVP of the NFL currently on their team in Baker Mayfield. And even in the face of all the injuries that they have, they just hung 30. They hung 30 on San Francisco and 38 on Seattle. I don't know how you can make a power ranking right now and not have Tampa Bay as the number 1 team in the league. The other ones we can certainly debate. And if you want to put a different team at 2 than I put, sure, fine. I don't know how you can make a power ranking right now and not put Tampa Bay at number 1.
I mean, 1 was the easiest pick we've ever made. Tampa Bay. It's a layup line. It's undefended. Take your points. Like James Palmer made this point earlier in the show, and it's a great one. They might be one of the teams in the NFL that's dealing with the most injury problems in the league, and they just keep checking the box of wins. Like They don't have Mike Evans. They've lost Chris Godwin for most of the season. Their offensive line is basically me and you. Like, they've had holes there all season long. Like, they have taken on a lot of water, and they're 5-1, including, like you said, some of the most impressive wins we've seen. I think that win at Seattle is enormous for how good Tampa Bay is. Also a beautiful Jersey game that day. But, yeah, Tampa Bay is number one with a bullet. You can argue about 2 through 9 is kind of interchangeable, but one has to be the Bucs. It just has to be.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't really know if you could argue it any different when it comes to this. Now, Rob, I'm going to beat you to this. Can we keep this to, I'll give you 2.5 minutes. I don't know why you put this in the system on your own accord. I did not ask for this. I didn't tell you to do this. And you have just taken it upon yourself to play a little ISO ball. Here's Bill Self on Darren Peterson.
The maturity of his game. You know, he's an 18-year-old that plays like a 25-year-old. I mean, not too many people when they play. When you start out doing something early in your career, doing something, everything seems to be in fast forward. I mean, I would think it's that way in golf. I would think it's that way in baseball, whatever. Things are in fast forward. For sure, a football quarterback, you know, everything is happening too fast. With him, everything's in slow motion. And to me, that's a big compliment that he sees the game where it's not sped up.
I remember when the movie Get Out was coming out. And, you know, there's always like hype and buzz for a movie and the way that people talk about movies. And people were talking about Get Out like it was the greatest movie that they had ever seen. And you remember Rotten Tomatoes at one point had Get Out as like their highest rated movie ever. Like there was a lot of buzz for the movie. And I remember when I went to go see in the movie theater and I was thinking to myself, I mean, it's all right. I mean, I didn't hate the movie, but it's not one of the best movies I've ever seen. In fact, I've only seen it the one time. I don't really have much of a desire to go back and watch it. Like, it didn't really wow me and blow me away. Man, I kind of feel like that's what's happening with Darren Peterson here. I'm saying this as somebody who's seen the kid play in real life before. Man, the way we're talking about this is one of the most hyped basketball recruits we've ever had in this country, like in this region, ever. I can't wait to see. How long are we giving them until we can start calling things? Because they play real games in the beginning of the season. They play North Carolina in the first 10 games of the season. They play Duke in the first 10 games of the season. They play Connecticut in the first 10 games of the season. How long are we giving this thing with Darren Peterson before we can start to say, I don't know about this? I just want to know.
What's the timeline where we talk about it so we say, oh, we know. He's checking the boxes. Because it works both ways. If you want to tell me, hey, pick a date where we can say, I don't know, you tell me. Pick a date where I can say, see, I told you so. He's a star. If you want to pick the game in Chapel Hill.
I'm asking you. I mean,
he played Kyan Evans, local kid at Chapel Hill.
Yeah, they do.
Game 2. If he goes out there and balls out, are we going to say, hey, we need more time before we know? Or are we going to say, oh, look, he's cooking? Like, you tell me your timeline, and I'll also agree to it. Because people talk about him and Lawrence both on and off the record like they are discovering fire for the first time. He is going to be tremendous. So you tell me the date we can say he has lived up to the hype. I just want that date, and I want to put it on our calendar.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. I think I might have told this story before. I ran into Greg Gurley, and I was like, hey, what's the latest on Darren Peterson? And Greg Gurley told me he's the best freshman that they've ever had. That's what Greg Gurley told me when we had this conversation. He told me he's the best freshman they ever had. Are we willing to give them until the Missouri game? That's like their 9th game of the season. Because I'm looking at it right now. Kansas plays North Carolina in less than a month. Kansas plays Duke in exactly a month from now. They play Notre Dame. They play Syracuse. They play UConn. Like, they play some real teams and real games. And then they play Missouri, who has, I would say, a borderline NBA guard. And it's like, okay, all right. In those first 8 real games that they have, if he's what you guys are telling me that he is, I need to see it in the first 8 games of the season. So I'm just asking.
We can make the Missouri game. After the Missouri, we can circle back to this conversation. Not the last time we're talking about Darren Peterson on the show. But we can circle back to the either it's I don't know or he's checked the boxes. when we leave the T-Mobile Center, me and you are both going down there for that game. When we leave the T-Mobile Center at 2:30-ish on a Sunday afternoon, we can have a conversation on the show the next day about if Darren Peterson has lived up to the hype. Because you're right, he will have played, 4 top 25 schools, I think? I think Missouri could be a top 25 school by that time. We'll know by the time the Chiefs and Texans take the field that night. I guess maybe the Chiefs and Texans gets flexed, but it doesn't matter. By the time the Chiefs and Texans take the field that night, we will know about Darren Peterson.
Someone on the text line makes a fair point. C-Dot, you said the same thing last year about Cooper Flagg early in the season and he not being that guy. Now, I will at least point this out, shoot me a little bit of bail here. The problems that I saw with Cooper Flagg when I gave that opinion, we saw in almost every close game that they had as the season progressed. You remember, Cooper Flagg had a problem handling the basketball with less than 30 seconds left in these games. He had a big problem getting his shot off in these games. So, I don't feel like I was super far off in the Cooper Flagg. Now, he ended up being a phenomenal college player, no question about it. I don't really see 6'10" unicorn-like ability from Darren Peterson, but Bill Self, who certainly knows a whole lot, Bill Self is saying that he plays like he's 25 years old, and this is the most developed freshman that they have ever had. If we all know what a one-and-done, we all know what a special one-and-done supposed to look like. We know. Don't act like we haven't seen it before. We've seen transcendent one-and-dones.
I'm just saying.
You know what it looked like. And that kid, he ain't playing 2 years of college basketball. No. He's playing 35 games of college basketball.
I will say this, and to the text line's point, if right now Darren Peterson had Cooper Flagg's career at Duke, absolutely checks the box looking for the hype. Cooper Flagg won Naismith Player of the Year. He was the #1 recruit in the country. He was 17. Yeah, he had a flaw in his game, and it cost him in the Final Four, but he was in the Final Four and won Player of the Year. If Darren Peterson is doing that next year at Kansas, then I can't wait for the moving goalposts. People are like, oh, see, they didn't win a title. It's a bust. No,
I'm not going to say that.
But there will be people who do.
I'll be on your side if that's the case.
If he's Cooper Flagg, there's a party in Lawrence.
Let me ask you this. Let's say that he turns out to be Andrew Wiggins in college. Is that good or bad? Because I'm guessing that you were going to say that it's bad. And I'm looking at what Andrew Wiggins did in college. Andrew Wiggins averaged 15 and 6 and shot 45% from the field. I'm guessing you're going to tell me that if he turns out to be Andrew Wiggins, that's not good enough.
I would, based on the hype we're hanging out of Lawrence, I think he needs to be more than Andrew Wiggins. But if Andrew Wiggins is the baseline, then yeah, I would accept that as a basement for Darren Peterson.
That's the basement.
That's the basement.
What's the ceiling? John Wall?
That's probably a fair comparison. John Wall.
Okay. All right. Have you ever been this excited about a Kansas basketball recruit?
It's been a long time since I've been this excited about it.
Long time. Since when? Jock Vaughn? When we go? Wilt? When are we going back?
For a one-and-done kid, it's probably been since Wiggins.
Okay. All right.
I didn't have the excitement for Oubre. A lot of people liked Oubre.
The floor is Wiggins and the ceiling is John Wall.
Mm-hmm. Is Zion higher than John Wall?
You think he can be Zion Williamson in college?
I'm trying to find the ceiling.
Do you think he'll be better than Trae Young was at Oklahoma?
Ooh, Trae Young's a really good answer.
And he's turned out to be a phenomenal pro.
Trae Young's really good. Their games are so different, though. Trae Young's probably the ceiling, yeah.
Okay. All right. He could be John Wall, what we heard from our resident Kansas basketball expert, Rob Britton. We'll get back to the Chiefs coming up on the other side. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next-day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things, people,
love.
Every NFL Thursday is your chance to hit the jackpot on FanDuel because FanDuel's Thursday touchdown jackpot means that you can win a share of $2 million in bonus bets each and every week. To get in on this Thursday's action, all you have to do is place an anytime touchdown score bet before the game kicks off. And if your player scores either the first or the last touchdown in the game, then you'll win your bet plus a share of bonus bets. All you need to do is visit FanDuel.com. Use my promo code KFNZ to take a shot at the jackpot. Remember my promo code KFNZ for your chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt in. Must apply profit Pitocin on select market. Prize pool to be split equally among all eligible participants who made the correct first or last touchdown pick. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 21 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Can help with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
This is the run my own business dream. This is the colleges paid for dream. This is the retire early dream. This is Busey, where your dreams and possibilities become moments. Through trusted guidance and expertise, through lifelong relationships. Because we're here to help you achieve the life you've always envisioned. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
We have reached the age where things just cost more.
Cars, phones, life insurance.
Your blood pressure is up.
Your weight is up.
You're one to talk.
I have type 2 diabetes, so I'm getting dinged just like you.
Thank goodness for Big Lou.
Big Lou!
Big Lou can get term life insurance rates for a 50-year-old male with type 2 diabetes or high blood pressure, or maybe he's on anxiety meds. For just around $200 a month for $1 million of coverage.
Oh, you gotta say that again.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll say it. Big Lou and Term Provider could get a 50-year-old man, a little dinged up, $1 million in life insurance for around $200 a month.
Call Big Lou.
Big Lou!
He's like you.
800-555-2085. That's 800-555-2085.
Don't put it off. If you're overweight, diabetic, have high blood pressure, you gotta call Big Lou.
Gotta.
800-555-2085.
Write it down.
800-555-2085.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text. Text BEACH to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text BEACH to 42424. That's BEACH to 42424.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This one brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. We've got a multi-car crash, Kansas side of things, 70 westbound as you approach 18th Street. It is the right lane block. Down south, 2-car crash, 49 northbound at Main. Right lane is blocked there. The world's coming to KC in 2026. Is your parking lot ready? Faded lines, potholes, unsafe sidewalks. Gann Asphalt and Concrete is your winning team. One contractor, all things parking lot. Visit GannAsphalt.com today. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Follow the station on Instagram at TheFan965 for giveaways and behind-the-scenes content.
All right, Rob has brought this to my attention. I actually did not see this. This is from Sam McDowell, that the mayor of North Kansas City confirms that they have been having ongoing conversations with the Kansas City Royals about a stadium. This is his full statement. The city of North Kansas City continues to have conversations with the Royals. These discussions are substantial and ultimately involve collaboration among the state of Missouri, Clay County, and the city in any final framework. A portion of these discussions will need to be kept confidential for a limited period of time. As mayor, I remain committed to transparency throughout this process and want to share the priorities I've consistently communicated on our behalf, protecting our city's long-term financial health, safeguarding our neighborhoods. Underneath it, it says, we are committed to ensuring game day operations, including traffic and parking, don't spill into residential neighborhoods north of Armour. Leveraging investment for community infrastructure, then goes on that the Royals have to provide certain things, water, sewer, infrastructure, like North Kansas City just is a smaller place. It also then goes on to say that engaging our community and region, they want to have good communication, all of those things. If you want to read the statement, you can read it in its entirety. I don't want to spend the next 5 minutes reading to you every single word of this. I mean, I think it's safe to say this, Rob. Tell me if you think I'm off. It sounds to me like they might not admit it, but we are down to 3 locations. It sounds to me like the Royals baseball stadium will either be at the Clay County site that they have been proposing from day one, 119th and all, and Washington Square Park. I cannot see another place. There is not another place over the last 18 months that has drawn any level of buzz, that has had any level of movement outside of them. I don't care what map they've shown you, and they've looked at 25 different places. It's going to go in one of these 3 places: North Kansas City, downtown, and 119th and all. That's what it sounds like to me. A couple of things. What's stopping them from being downtown, you think? Because at least if you believe the mayor of Kansas City, I know a lot of you don't believe the mayor of Kansas City, but the mayor of Kansas City has said numerous times on this show, we don't need approval from anybody else. We have the space. We want you here. We can divert some funds and we can make this thing happen. It doesn't sound like that's what the Royals want to do, or they don't think that's a viable plan, because that plan seems like it's been out there for a year now at this point, and the Royals have never really seemed like that's a plan that they want to commit to. Now, I don't want to just ride the wave of this thing, and now it seems like North Kansas City, now it seems like 119th and all, but the Clay County option has become more and more viable, I would say, over the last 6 months. For a while there, it felt like they were going to 119th and all. That's where the wind was kind of blowing. I would say that conversation feels like it's died in a little bit of capacity. It just hasn't really come up. Since those 2 days we got that story about them buying the land out there, that's kind of been it. It hasn't really come up again, really, in any capacity. So it sounds like that's the 3: North Kansas City, 119th and all, and downtown. I have absolutely no clue where they're going to go, but that feels like those are the finalists.
I feel like those are the finalists, and you're right. I don't know what's stopping them from going downtown right now. Now, maybe there's a tax or there's something something I just don't know about. But you're right. The mayor has come on this show multiple times and talked about how the ability to get the Royals into Washington Square Park is just, it's right there. Take it if you want it. John Sherman continues to talk about the want for downtown baseball. No disrespect to Overland Park. I live in Overland Park. No disrespect to North KC. Neither of those are downtown baseball. That's what the Battery in Atlanta is. It's suburban baseball, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with suburban baseball, but it does seem like the last 2 news stories with the Royals that we've gotten were 119th and all, and now North KC. Now, maybe we're overreacting to this story, but the mayor of North KC is saying they're having substantial conversations with the Royals about moving there. Like, maybe that's semantics, but I don't know what substantial is, but it seems like it's those 2 places have now been the most hotly discussed recently with the Kansas City Royals.
I know this is going to sound biased because I live in Missouri and I don't really live super far from where this proposed location is. That 119th and all idea just doesn't fire me up. It fires you up? Like, if they built a stadium across the street from Town Center, that fires you up for where the stadium's going to be?
Does not
and
fire
I think
me
you
up.
and I have both talked to people over there. No one who lives or works in that region really sounds super excited about that's where the baseball stadium could potentially be. Like, no one sounds thrilled about that's where they're going to put it.
To be fair, I apologize for interrupting.
No, you're good.
Outside of Washington Square Park, can you name the location in town where the Royals have suggested, hey, we want to go there, and everyone's just fired up? Like, even North KC, I'm sure right now on the text line, I don't have it up, I'm sure the text will be like, well, the parking is terrible, the highway access is bad. Like, name the place the Royals have suggested that just went gangbusters with happiness from everyone.
Yeah, because I've said this from the very beginning. If the Royals don't plan on moving downtown, they are just simply moving the problem. Like, the problem with the Royals is people don't go to baseball games with the Royals from Monday to Thursday. They don't go. They go on the weekend, sure, but people don't go to Royals games Monday through Thursday. So if they're not going to put the team in a downtown centralized location and they're going to move it to a part of the suburbs, kind of like where the stadium is right now, you're just going to have the exact same problem that you currently have now. People will go because it's new in a lot of ways, but I still think those problems are going to exist. So I'm with you. I don't think that people are really fired up about any of these other new ideas. I don't think people think that the Royals need a new baseball stadium. And I think then the people that live in Kansas will use the same excuse not to go to this brand new stadium that they used to not go to the one that's where it currently is right now. Oh, it's a Tuesday. Why would I drive over there? I think that problem is just going to exist as long as they don't move downtown.
I agree. I do feel like, and I know John Sherman has referenced the Battery in Atlanta a lot. And I know North KC isn't a suburb like the way Overland Park is, but it's not like a booming metropolis the same way downtown is. I don't know that the idea of the Battery works in Kansas City. And maybe I'm just reacting to the text line, and each time we get a little nugget of news on this thing, it seems like the initial reaction is excitement from some people and just hate from others.
I guess that's what I would question, though. Why do you think it wouldn't work when I would say we have a form of the Battery just in different parts of the city that do work? Town Center is the Battery. It just doesn't have the baseball stadium around it. Zona Rosa is the Battery. It just doesn't have it around it.
I would say this. The Battery has what? Let's say Atlanta brings 20 to 25 plus a night.
It's also a much bigger place in Kansas City.
That's true,
too,
but like
more people.
They're filling that stadium pretty consistently on weeknights.
The Royals ain't filling their stadium.
The Royals ain't filling their stadium. You just told me if the Royals move to Overland Park, the problem's the same. I think if the Royals move to North KC, the problem's the same. Like it's a cool new area and people will go because it's cool and new, but their version of the Battery will eventually be like, I don't want to go all the way out there. Like if you live right now in North KC and they move to Overland Park, are you going to Dollar Dog Night on a random Tuesday? Or are you saying that's too far away? I think that's the same problem, which is why I don't know that a version of the Battery works in Kansas City.
Yeah, and I hear like right here, someone said, CDOT, how are you comparing where they are now to 119th and all? I mean, the 119th and all is just there. I'm just asking then, if you're telling me that the best thing for the Royals to be is in Johnson County, why have they not jumped on? They have land in Johnson County and Kansas is offering them all the money in the world. Why are you talking to North Kansas City then? Like I continue to ask the same question. I keep hearing how great Kansas is and why this is the option. Then the option is right there. Why are they not taking it? They bought the land. They own the land. Kansas has told you we will do anything that you want to come over here. Then why are they not just committed to building right there at 119th and all? Where else are you putting the stadium? The Royals are not putting their baseball stadium out by the Legends. They are not doing that. They don't have any interest in putting it out by the Legends. They have put no motion in putting a baseball stadium there. The only place it can go in Kansas is right there. That's the only one. They've offered you everything. You got the land. You got the money. They just put a shovel in the ground and start building there. Why don't the Royals just don't seem excited about any of the options that don't include downtown Kansas City? They were excited about the Crossroads. The city shut them down, and now I feel like they're having to kind of scramble. And I guess we'll make Plan B and Plan C work when it comes to where their stadium's going to be. We'll get back to the Chiefs coming up at the top of the hour. We'll talk about their game on Sunday against the Raiders. Keep it right here. So Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This one brought to you by Shawnee Mission Ford. We've got a crash 435 northbound just past 24 Highway. Left lane is blocked and then continue on. Big backups because of 435 northbound of the on-ramp from 210 Highway. So between the two wrecks, you've got big delays. At Shawnee Mission Ford, you get it all. A great selection of new Fords plus a lifetime powertrain warranty along with the 1-year Select Plus protection. View the inventory at ShawneeMissionFord.com. From America for America. Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more. I'm Val with traffic with 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, folks, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here. Many men remember their first time. Not that first time. I'm talking about the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined that special moment. And if you're over 50, then the chances are then you've experienced this before. That first time can be frustrating. It can be a little bit embarrassing. But here's the good news. At Heartland Men's Health, that first time can also be the last time. Heartland Men's Health specializes in treating ED when the pills and herbals fail. With a success rate of over 90%, many men see results just after one visit. So your first visit is just $99, which includes a consult, lab work, and if medically advised, you get a test dose. And if it doesn't work right there in the office, then your visit is on the house. So don't let ED define your sex life. Call my friends at Heartland Men's Health today at 844-447-6600 or check out the website, heartlandmenshealth.com today. You can also stop by and visit any of the 3 area locations, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City. Be sure to stop by Heartland Men's Health.
Tired of paying big city prices? Head to New Century Ram, Jeep, Dodge, and Payola, where honest, good people are ready to help you save. No fancy city overhead, just real savings. Looking for a new Ram, Jeep, or Dodge, or maybe a quality used vehicle? Their selection is online and ready to browse. And the best part? New Century is only a 20-minute drive south of the city, and you can save thousands just by coming down. New Century Ram, Jeep, Dodge. Remember, you'll always pay less in Payola, and always deal with good people you can trust.
BetMGM is inviting you to charge the field this pro football season. Existing BetMGM customers can have a ball without having to sweat. Log into your account to get a pro football no sweat token. Apply the token to your next pro football bet. If you lose with the token attached, you'll get your stake back in bonus bets. That's right, with a no sweat token, you get your stake back in bonus bets if you don't win. There's nothing like a fresh set of downs. And that's just what BetMGM is offering if you don't win with a no-sweat token. Find your favorite matchup and be part of the action. Make this pro football season one for the ages. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Hi, this is Toby Tobin along with Jason Goodenkoff from Lewisburg Ford in Lewisburg, Kansas. Hi, Jason.
Hello, Toby.
Let's talk about the buying experience at Lewisburg Ford.
It's the best anywhere. Just ask all our customers, Toby. It is hands down the best experience you can have buying a new car. We have the no-hassle Toby Tobin price that we've had for over 45 years now. Nobody else can say that. We've been saving Kansas City thousands and thousands of dollars for a lot of years.
I have been buying Ford cars and trucks from Lewisburg Ford for over 30 years, and I know personally this is the best place to buy a Ford car or truck. Great prices, but there's a whole lot more than that.
It doesn't just stop at price, Toby.
No.
There's other factors to this equation, and it's trade-in allowance, financing, and the experience of how knowledgeable the people are that you're dealing with. And we surpass everybody in all those areas. We always have. We always will. That's why calling us is important.
Do you have that new pickup?
Absolutely. And it's dynamite.
Okay. Lewisburg Ford is your best place to buy a Ford car or truck. What's your toll-free number?
816-444-2300.
Lewisburg Ford or lewisburgford.com.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down. 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we are improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's RexBuysKC.com, and I look forward to working with you.
What's up, KC? It's Hollywood Brown. Tune in on game days to hear the play-by-play with Mitch, Danny, and Kling on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. Thank you so much for listening. It is The Drive. You were listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. Coming up in about 25 minutes or so, we had a chance to catch up with James Palmer of Bleacher Report. We'll play the best of that for you coming up in just a little bit. There is a lot to get into in the show. I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about this because I generally feel, this is why I tell you guys all the time, PR is really, really easy. The public gets tired of stories really quickly, and the news line moves really quickly. So people already 2-3 days into their left tackle just not being on the team right now, move on. You're beating a dead horse. Like, all you got to do is just wait 2-3 days, and you can beat anything in today's society if you just wait a couple of days, because the news cycle moves so fast. So I want to play this for you. I don't want to spend the whole 5 o'clock hour talking about Josh Simmons, because I don't still know what's happening with Josh Simmons. I, today, have been told 4 different things privately about what's going on with Josh Simmons. I have absolutely no clue what it is. I do think that the Chiefs have contributed in some ways to there being a cloud of mystery about it. The one thing I'll say related to Josh Simmons is related to the cut that we played earlier today from Nate Taylor. Here's the cut on what he is hearing it is.
I do believe it's a family matter. I do believe Josh Simmons is back in like the Southern California, San Diego area, which is, his hometown. I had the responsibility yesterday, not to ask Andy Reid, because I've done that already, but to really ask Patrick Mahomes, like, hey, man, have you talked to this guy? Patrick was very honest on Sunday, saying he didn't know where Josh was, and that, it's not every day the starting quarterback has to go to the coaching staff and say, where's the left tackle? And the coaching staff really doesn't have the best answer for your franchise quarterback. So when Patrick Mahomes said yesterday that he's praying for Josh Simmons, I think we all need to take that cue from the quarterback. And, I'm fearful, I guess, is probably the best way I can explain what I've heard.
This is what I would have done from the very beginning if I was Josh Simmons' agent. If I was Josh Simmons' agent and there was a tweet that went out that said that the Chiefs and my client were not on the same page about his absence, part of your job is to handle this and the public relations side of things. I think a lot of this could just be simply ended if Drew Rosenhaus released a statement regarding his client. But I think the fact that all sides have been so secretive and close to the vest of this has just led to speculation, which just creates uncertainty about the situation. Drew Rosenhaus has been in far stickier situations than this before. He reps Tyreek Hill. He repped Antonio Brown. Think of any prominent player that has come out of the Miami, Florida area. Drew Rosenhaus has had a hand in managing that client. So he has dealt with something like this before. I don't know what Josh Simmons is. I don't know what's happening right now. But a very simple statement from Drew Rosenhaus could put out the fire to this thing. Hey, our client right now is dealing with a personal matter, and when he feels ready to speak, he will talk on this and move forward. They should have put this out on Monday morning when it comes to this. Yeah, here we are, the Thursday before the game, and he left on Sunday. He didn't practice on Wednesday. He didn't practice on Thursday, and there is still, at least publicly, no understanding of when he is going to come back to the team. You guys keep wondering, why does this matter? I think it matters because I think if you had a draft right now and you were talking about who are the most important players for the Chiefs moving forward, I think he's the second most important player on the team behind Patrick Mahomes. He's your left tackle. A lot of you think that he can be the franchise left tackle for a decade. He just left on the Sunday before a game, and there's no certainty on when that player is coming back. There's no other situation like that currently in the National Football League. So I think some of it is, while the Chiefs, everything appears to be finally turning their way. They didn't have Rashee Rice. You had some injuries when it comes to this thing. Like, there have been things that have kind of pulled away at the Chiefs over the first 6-7 weeks of the season. Now that you're expecting, man, we're ready to go now. We're going to have our offense on full throttle. Their left tackle right now, there's a lot of uncertainty on where he is. So that's one of the reasons why I think this story is carrying the way that it is.
I also think, and maybe we're saying the same thing, it's just semantics. I think one of the reasons this story is carrying is because it doesn't seem like the Chiefs have given a clear and concise message, and a lot of the questions people like me and you and Nate and even fans have not been answered. He being Andy Reid, was asked point blank in his Monday Zoom press conference. So he's had 24 hours after the game, after the situation. He knew he was meeting with the media at noon on Monday. He had 24 hours to formulate a message. He knew he was going to be asked about Josh Simmons. Nate Taylor, who's been very good on this, asked very simply, do you have a timetable on when you believe Josh will get back? And he kind of non-answered him. Then 48 hours go by. Now Andy Reid's meeting with the media again on Wednesday around 11:45. I know that question's coming. You know that question's coming. Everyone in the media room knows that question is coming. Andy Reid knows that question is coming. Andy Reid says he has no further comment on the situation and, quote, Brett Veach is handling it. So not only have you not answered our question, you have only answered with doing things that create more questions. If Andy Reid on Monday and the PR department, if someone had given Andy Reid a statement on Monday that said he's dealing with a personal matter or a family matter or what have you, and he's going to be out for a little bit, we don't have a clear timeline, we're working with him and the league, we're considering all options with Veach and all these things, but we're going to give him his privacy in this moment. If Andy Reid said that on Monday at noon, do you know what we're not talking about today? Josh Simmons. But instead, they non-answered, then they said it's Veach, then they kind of non-answered again. They've kind of hemmed and hawed. You know, it was personal reasons, but we're not going to get into it. It just, if they had just done this right on Monday, we would not be talking about it on Thursday.
I don't want to say that they've done it wrong. I don't know if that's fair. Like,
I don't
right
know if
here,
it's right or wrong, but I think they haven't done it perfect, and that has created more skepticism.
I think they've left a blank, and I think it then allows you to fill in the blank on what you possibly think it could be. Like right here on the text line, someone sends in, C-Dot, maybe the player doesn't want people to know. That's why I think a lot of times, and it happens in sports all the time, you can just use such a blanket term and people accept it and we never dive deeper into it. For example, we use the term distraction. Distraction in the National Football League can mean 15 different things. Distraction could mean that you are a legitimate abuser. Distraction could mean that you drove drunk. Distraction could mean that you had 2 blunts in the car. We agree. Those are wide variances of what could possibly be. But we all know when you hear the term distraction, oh, that's serious. That's why I mean doesn't want the player to know. Family issue. Family issue also could mean a million different things. Think about in your own life and the issues that you have with your family. Some are very, very small issues. Some are very serious issues. But everybody understands and everybody respects I am dealing with a personal family issue. Everybody respects that. And that's why I'm saying is, I guess to your point about what you just said, on Wednesday, when they stood in front of the media and they spoke about this, I don't know why they didn't just say that from the very beginning. That's it. I don't know why they didn't say that from the very, very beginning. Another thing, though, we were talking about this earlier as well. Someone said, C-Dot, like I said yesterday, I don't need to know. It's his business. I would argue when it comes to professional athletes, we talk about their business all the time. I would say we love to be in their business. We love to talk about their contract. We love to talk when they should get a new contract. We love to talk about when they should restructure their contract. Like, we talk about their business all of the time. So that's why I think it's created just a general, you are inquisitive. You want to know what's happening, what's going on. Why is he not there? Why is he not at work? I think that's what kind of creates the uncertainty around this. But I think we're going to hear tomorrow. I mean, there's going to be another time. I mean, Andy Reid is going to be asked about this tomorrow.
No chance he answers.
I agree with you.
On Fast Friday, no chance.
100%. But we agree. The first question to ask the Kansas City Chiefs tomorrow when Andy Reid talks to the media is, where is Josh Simmons? When do you anticipate him coming back? Now, he can continue to give you the same answer, but your left tackle has not been here and has not been in practice. That needs to be the first question that's asked him tomorrow at 1 o'clock. He might give you the exact same answer. Maybe we get more information, but he will absolutely be asked again tomorrow, where is he? Why is he not here? I think that's going to happen tomorrow. All right, let's talk about the actual game that they have on Sunday coming up against the Las Vegas Raiders.
Your workday is over.
Oh, yeah.
You're headed home, and now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with C-Dot and Rob. It's time for the hits.
I just want to read this text
one.
to you really quickly. Someone on the text line says, C-Dot, I think it's different. You're describing a player's availability. That is our business. This is his business. This affects his availability. He's not there. I can't think of availability more than you left work and are not reporting to work. This absolutely affects his ability. He missed the game and is about to miss another game. What are we talking about? This absolutely affects his ability. This is like having an injury. You can't play in the game. We would know if somebody didn't play, we would want to know why you were injured. Hey, why didn't you play? Oh, I tweaked my hamstring. This absolutely affects his ability. He's not at work today.
Just a reminder, the hits are brought to you by Baker University, where this weekend on October 18th and 19th, more than 30,000 visitors will gather under Baldwin City's brilliant maple trees for Maple Leaf Fest. Enjoy family fun, food, and music as art as we celebrate 65 years of Kansas tradition. More details at bakeru.edu/Maple Leaf. Carrington, let's talk about... I don't want to talk about the Raiders. The Raiders stink. Who cares about the Raiders? But let's talk about...
But this is the thing, though. See, this is the thing. And you can turn the music down, though. I'm not doing that with any team in the National Football League. I'm not doing that right now.
Any team.
Well, okay. I'm not doing that with any team that's not the Jets and the Saints. Like, I think the Jets and the Saints are terrible organizations. I think they're bad football teams that can't get going. But I don't know how we can watch football in 2025 and then laugh off the notion that any team can beat any other team. I just don't know how you can be watching these games this week. We saw in a 4-day span, we saw the Giants lose to the Saints by double digits and then turn around and pummel the Philadelphia Eagles on Thursday Night Football. Now, I'm not telling you that I'm picking the Raiders to win this game. No, you'd be silly to pick the Raiders to win this game. But it's 2025. It is a divisional game, and the gap between the first team and the 23rd team is not nearly as big as we talk about. So I'm at least going to treat the Raiders with proper respect. Now, Geno, he has been a turnover machine. I think that rears its ugly head. But, I mean, you got a running back that we all know and thought very highly of when he was coming out of school. You got Trey Tucker. You got a couple of things. Again, it's a divisional game. Weird things just happen. Like, we've seen plenty of Chiefs games in our life, plenty of Chiefs games during the Mahomes era where the Chiefs just sleepwalk for the first 3 quarters of the game, and the game ends up being weirdly close in the 4th quarter in a way that we don't really respect. Like, that's happened a bunch of times before. So I want to be clear. I'm not picking the Raiders to win this game. I'm simply saying I'm not laughing off the Las Vegas Raiders because I don't know if in 2025 you can really laugh off a whole lot of teams in the National Football League. I'm not laughing off really anybody right now in the league because everything is just weird right now. All the results are weird. I don't know who's really good. I don't know who's really separated themselves. I don't know where the great teams are and where the bad teams begin. So I'm going to treat the Raiders with respect.
Here's why I won't, and we can get to my question about the Chiefs here in a minute. I think the Raiders are way closer to the Jets than people want to admit. I don't know if they're all the way Jets bad because that is, I mean, Aaron Glenn. I thought you'd be a good hire. Like it's really bad over there. It just, I don't know if the organization's cursed. I don't know. But I think the Raiders are far closer to that realm than anything else. Like they got their one win on opening day against the Patriots. Great for the Raiders. All those things. They ruined Mike Vrabel's homecoming, yada, yada, yada. Since then, they've done nothing. They look very Saints-ish. They look very Jets-ish. I think they are in that pantheon of their front office, Tom Brady and everyone, are having discussions about the draft. I do not, I think they're better than the Jets, but I don't think they're any given Sunday, let's just see what happens, you never know type of energy. I think they are a doormat in the NFL, and just over time we will say they are a doormat in the NFL.
I don't disagree with you. Again, I'm not here to argue that I think that they are a good football team because I don't think they're a good football team. I really don't. But I would say you and I both think the Patriots are a pretty decent football team. The Raiders went on the road and beat the New England Patriots. Now, I'm not saying the Chiefs are the Patriots. I'm just saying it's 2025, and weird things have been happening this entire season. So if you are slipping up and you are looking ahead to the Commanders or looking ahead to the game against the Buffalo Bills or the bye week or any of those things, just about anybody right now in this league is showing you they are capable of biting you and just making the game uncomfortable. So I would respect any team that you are playing right now, especially a team in your division. It was not that long ago that we all loved the Green Bay Packers, and the Packers went on the road and lost to the Cleveland Browns. A Browns team that you and I both agree is a terrible football team. A Browns team that's going to be picking in the top 5 and fired their quarterback 2 days later after that. So that's all I'm saying when it comes to the Raiders. I'm going to show the Raiders a little bit of respect. I do think this is important about the Raiders, though. That Raiders game on Christmas Day, what is it, like a year and a half ago now, at this point, almost 2 years ago now, was really a turning point for the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs were 9-5. And I'm guessing if we go back in time and we find what we said about this game, Man, no chance in December that the Raiders come into it with Taylor Swift and Christmas Day and the Chiefs in December, and there's no way that you think the Raiders come in there and beat the Chiefs. And they didn't win on something fluky. They dominated the Chiefs for 60 minutes. Since that day, we have seen a very different version of the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs were 9-5 heading into that game. They left 9-6. They have lost 6 games exactly since that game. They're 20-6. They've won a Super Bowl and appeared in another one since then. So we saw a Chiefs team that, I don't want to say they were average. Obviously, at 9-5, they're not that. But we had questions on whether or not that team was special. And if that team had the ability to put everything together to go win another Super Bowl, they did. They won 15 games the next season. And right now, you and I both think, at least I have them as the second best team in the National Football League. You have them as a top 10 team in the National Football League, but certainly a team that is trending in the right direction, offensively and defensively. So that Raiders game, if we are going through, and at the end of Patrick Mahomes' career, we're reading a book. And this book will tell you big moments and big turning points in his career. The Christmas Day loss against the Raiders needs to be in that book. It is one of the most important games in Chiefs history. It doesn't feel like it because they lost, and it's a regular season loss at the end of the season, but something sparked in the Chiefs that allowed them to go undefeated the rest of the way and then win 15 regular season games the next season. The Chiefs, after that loss, they probably won. If you go back and look, they won, 25 of 26 games after losing that Raiders game? They became a completely different organization after that.
I had the stat earlier. Since the loss to the Raiders on Christmas Day, where at this point, you've said it perfectly, it's an iconic photo. I don't know if it's infamous or famous, of Taylor Swift and Patrick Mahomes' wife, Brittany, in embrace in the box because their team has just lost and they're both in Christmas hats. And they're clearly distraught about the team's loss. Since that loss, the Chiefs are 20-4
Hello, Kansas City. Christopher Youngers here with Cafe Trio. Ah, the seasons, they are changing. And if you haven't seen Cafe Trio during the holidays, from Halloween, the Plaza Lights, and Christmas with all of our decorations, well, then you've missed out on one of the most seasonally spectacular dining experiences in town. Offering live music, very spirited holiday decorations, and farm-to-table fresh menus, Cafe Trio is the place to be for the holidays. 45th and Main, cafetriokc.com.
Hey, Zach, are you smiling at my gorgeous canyon view?
No, Donald. I'm smiling because I've got something I want to tell the whole world.
Well, do it. Shout it out.
T-Mobile's got home internet.
Whoa, I love that echo. T-Mobile's got home internet.
How much is it?
Look at that, Zach. We got the neighbors' attention.
Just $35 a month. And you love a great deal, Denise.
Plus, they've got a 5-year price guarantee. That's 5 whole trips around the sun.
I'm switching.
Me too.
Yes, T-Mobile home internet for the neighborhood.
Donald, you still haven't returned my weed whacker.
Carl, don't you embarrass me like this, please.
What's everyone yelling about?
T-Mobile's got home internet. And Donald's got my weed whacker.
Yes, T-Mobile's got home internet. Just $35 a month with auto pay and any voice line. And it's guaranteed for 5 years.
Beautiful yodeling, Carl.
Taxes and fees apply. See T-Mobile.com/ISP for details and exclusions.
Discover the latest HVAC, plumbing, and trade solutions with companies like Milwaukee and Champion and 20-plus other vendors at the Kansas City Wind Supply Group Vendor Showcase. Thursday, October 23rd, 3 to 6 at J. Rieger & Co. Distillery. Plus, enjoy complimentary food, drinks, tours, prizes, and networking.
When your name's on the paint job, your primer better hold up. Painters trust Kills primers for serious adhesion, stain blocking, and a finish that lasts. Now, the full lineup is only at the one place pros rely on. Need it fast? Get same-day or next-day delivery. Or order online and pick it up in-store. Kills primers, exclusively at the Home Depot. If you're a pro, you know.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Get 5 quarts of Valvoline full synthetic motor oil, a Wix filter, and a $15 gift card after rebate at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get 5 quarts of Valvoline full synthetic motor oil, a Wix filter, and a $15 gift card after rebate at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This one brought to you by Shawnee Mission Ford. We've got a crash 435 northbound just past 24 Highway. Left lane is blocked and then continue on. Big backups because of 435 northbound of the on-ramp from 210 Highway. So between the two wrecks, you've got big delays. At Shawnee Mission Ford, you get it all. A great selection of new Fords plus a lifetime powertrain warranty along with the 1-year Select Plus protection. View the inventory at ShawneeMissionFord.com. From America for America, Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more. I'm Val with traffic with 96.5 The Fan.
This is 96.5 The Fan, your home for Chiefs football.
Welcome back into the show. My name is Carrington Harrison. Very happy to be here with you guys. So we asked James Palmer the question that Rob just asked me. What was more impressive? Was it the offense or the defense on Sunday Night Football? Here's what he said.
I think it's by the defense.
in all honesty, because that's where we have more question marks, and we've seen the way this offense has now worked with Xavier Worthy, which is what they wanted to do right from the start. But obviously the injury happens, and since he returned, they got 30, 28, and 27 points. We've seen that, and we know what the secondary of the Lions was. But this was a Lions offense that we knew coming in. It was when they took the opening toss and said, hey, we want the ball. It was, okay, we want to run the football against a team that has struggled to stop the run. We have the two-headed monster, with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. And they had a great opening drive, and they did some good things early. But the defense buckled down, man, and really played well against a Lions offense that had everybody. And so to me, I have question marks on the defensive side of the ball, and I think playing the Lions the way they played them, I think that was a really good performance to me, as this defense I think is going to grow as the season goes on. And I'm not saying anything that nobody's ever seen before with the Spags defense, but I do think this group is going to grow. They have some younger guys up front that they're going to need to have, really go by leaps and bounds as this year goes on and be playing different football by December. But I think this was a really good step early on for that defense.
I argued the offense because I've seen their offense really improve at almost every single facet of it. Their quarterback is playing very consistent football, but that's always the case. Their running game, I think, has improved over the first 6 weeks of the season. That offensive line has certainly improved as well. You're getting great play from Travis Kelce, who had a very, I would say, weird first 3 games with the Andy Reid, the helmet throw, all of those things, and a wide receiver room that is really filled in and is now about to get their best wide receiver back. I've been very encouraged by this offense basically since halftime of Sunday Night Football against the Giants.
Yeah, listen, you asked me to pick one of the two. I'd say as an entire unit, I was impressed with the defense considering what they were going against. In terms of a position group that I'm most impressed with, to me, I think it's the offensive line. I think the offensive line coming together, and it's helped the run game. It's helped Patrick operate under center in the run game a little bit more than we've seen in the past. It helps him on the play action. It helps him on the bootlegs. And we know with Rashid coming back, a lot of these shallow crosses that he's just brilliant at. And it's a feel thing, and he's just so good. And some of those plays take a little bit of time. And I think the offensive line allowing Patrick to be able to have some of these concepts that they want to run now that they're getting all of their pass catchers back, I think allows them to run the offense the way they want. And I think we had some question marks early on, right? Where there were thoughts that Trey Smith wasn't playing up to the level that they know he can play at in the contract that he has. And we all know Creed's outstanding, but then you had another question at the other guard spot. And then, the tackles, you're going, I don't know if this is kind of up and down. It was all starting to kind of come together, even though Josh Simmons isn't there in that game Sunday night. You're still seeing this offensive line come together. And I think if that happens, and it looks like it's headed in that direction, I think this offense, with Patrick getting time, has a whole lot of different things that they can do.
Right now, we're talking to James Palmer, going through some of the top storylines right now with the Kansas City Chiefs. You are as plugged into Kansas City as any national reporter is. What are you hearing about Josh Simmons? What is sort of the feel around him as he is currently away from the team?
I'll just say very few people knew what was going on, to my understanding, prior to Sunday, and then more people started finding out. And when you're hearing very little information coming out of the organization, oftentimes I also let that kind of play itself out. And I think when you hear Andy say, I'm going to defer to Brett Veach, and you hear Patrick not really answer questions about him, I think you start to just kind of go, well, let's just see what the team says next. Obviously, we're all digging and we're all asking questions. All of us, we wouldn't be doing our jobs if we weren't reporters, but I think there's a respect thing there. But I just think there's just not a lot of information. To be completely frank, there isn't. Until we get some, I think that's where it stands right now.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think my, at least, confusion in all of this has just been this. I don't know what it is. I have absolutely no clue, and I've tried to avoid speculation because I just don't think that's fair. And you and I both know somebody clips it or says they heard on the radio, wait, no, that's not at all what I said. What I'm confused about is this. I just don't know why, if it was a personal reason or a family reason, why either his agent doesn't release a statement or the Chiefs just jointly release a statement. Hey, Josh Simmons is away from the team right now dealing with a family matter. When Josh feels ready to talk about it, he'll give you an update. That seems like something that's very simple that would have basically ended any rumor or people trying to guess what it is. I just don't know why they didn't put this fire out from the very, very beginning.
Yeah, I think that's a question more apt for somebody that studied PR in college and not me. But I agree with you. I think trying to figure out the best way to get as much information out as you're allowed to or willing to or can regarding the situation is oftentimes the approach with a lot of these things. But again, sometimes if you don't hear something, it's you don't have a lot, and you as an organization don't want to speculate. So I'm going to kind of let it kind of play out a little bit. Obviously, we're all trying to figure out, within reason and hope everything's okay. But at the same time, I think we just kind of see what the Chiefs do next.
I really want to make this a point in every person that we talk to this week. I think Jalen Moore just deserves a lot of credit. You follow this league. You talk to teams. You talk to players. I mean, I think a lot of players would have asked to just be on the inactive list on Sunday Night Football. He had a kid earlier in the day. You haven't been getting run with the ones. You haven't been practicing with the ones. You maybe were told in free agency one thing, a draft ended up happening, and it changed plans. I think it certainly would have been understandable for him to stay with his family on Sunday, for him to show up, play as well as he's played, keep his head down and do the work. I think he deserves a lot of credit for how he's been a pro in the face of everything that's happened in the last 6 months.
100%. And I think he went from a good organization to another good organization. I think the time he spent at his previous stop plays a part in this, in the way that they do business, in the way that they run their football operation. And I think it's a credit to him for sure. And I think also it's we should be looking at this going, man, everybody was going, whoa, Brett Veach paid a lot of money here. Well, right now everybody's going around the league, is there any way we can get some offensive line help right now? Like, there are teams trying to get some depth. I mean, there's just not a lot of good offensive linemen around. There's teams that are very thin. I mean, the Chargers are playing like their fifth, sixth offensive tackles like right now. And so credit to everyone involved for maybe having one thought process when the deal was made, to pivoting and getting who many believe was maybe the most athletic tackle in the draft at the bottom of the first rounds, and he ends up playing really, really well while he's out there, and that changes things, and he wins the job. But I think, he's been around long enough to go, this league changes week to week, and anything can happen, and you got to make the most of your opportunities. You're getting a chance to protect Patrick Mahomes, and he did a really, really good job of it. And so now, considering a very unique situation that they're in right now with Josh Simmons, I think Brett Veach is looking pretty smart, and he's looking like a pretty good fill-in right now.
I was just going to ask you that this is one of the rare times that I think you could say there's a team that is 3-3, and that you could argue that right now they're the best team in the National Football League. They're also currently have the 8th best record of teams in the AFC and are 3rd in their own division. I don't know if you've ever been able to say that at any point in the National Football League.
I think because right now you're seeing some of these teams at the top that you have legitimate questions. I mean, we could look at the AFC. Like, I think the Colts are playing outstanding football. It's one of the most efficient offenses we see in the league right now. It might be the most efficient offense we see. And I think everybody's going, well, like, that's Daniel Jones, right? Like, they still, even though DJ's playing at a really high level and they're really, really, they're just a great group of skill guys that know what they're doing. And Tyler Warren's been awesome. You still go like, well, that's Daniel Jones. It's not Patrick Mahomes running it. And you see the Bills are having, for the second consecutive year now, like issues attacking teams from the boundary and don't have an outside receiver, and that's really impacting their offense. And the defense has, some injuries they're dealing with. Like, I do think it is true because you also have a track record that's just in your mind. You have Andy Reid. You have Steve Spagnuolo. You have Patrick Mahomes. You still have all these pieces that have made it, so consistent of a winning organization that gets better as seasons go on. You can't just forget that, even though every roster is different with every year and teams change. I get that. But a lot of these other teams have questions. I mean, the Chargers came out like gangbusters, and I mentioned, like, their entire backfield goes down. Most of their offensive line goes down. They lose Khalil Mack. Like, everybody has, I think, a question mark next to them, including the defending Super Bowl champs. I just think that question mark's just a little smaller, and we don't question it as much with Kansas City.
That was James Palmer of Bleacher Report on the show earlier today. If you missed any part of our conversation, be sure to check it out on the podcast page. Coming up, we got Thursday Night Football, and we're a little bit stuck. Are we calling this the Unk Bowl, or are we calling this the Icy Hot Bowl? We'll discuss it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
This is Wyatt Thompson from K-State, and you're listening to The Drive with CDOT right here on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Every NFL Thursday is your chance to hit the jackpot on FanDuel, because FanDuel's Thursday touchdown jackpot means that you can win a share of $2 million in bonus bets each and every week. To get in on this Thursday's action, all you have to do is place an anytime touchdown score bet before the game kicks off. And if your player scores either the first or the last touchdown in the game, then you'll win your bet plus a share of bonus bets. All you need to do is visit FanDuel.com. Use my promo code KFNZ to take a shot at the jackpot. Remember my promo code KFNZ for your chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt in. Must apply profit boost hosting on select market. Prize pool to be split equally among all eligible participants who made the correct first or last touchdown pick. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 21 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino LLC. Gambling problem? Can help with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is the Let's Revitalize Our Neighborhoods commitment. This is the Roll Up Our Sleeves and Pitch In commitment. This is Busey, where our commitment to strengthen our communities is a top priority. Through energetic, engaged volunteers, through monetary support, community leadership, and advocacy. Because Busey is more than a bank that does well, we're a bank that does good. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth, since 1868. Member FDIC.
Tired of paying big city prices? Head to New Century Ram, Jeep, Dodge, and Payola, where honest, good people are ready to help you save. No fancy city overhead, just real savings. Looking for a new Ram, Jeep, or Dodge? Or maybe a quality used vehicle? Their selection is online and ready to browse. And the best part? New Century is only a 20-minute drive south of the city, and you can save thousands just by coming down. New Century Ram, Jeep, Dodge. Remember, you'll always pay less in Payola, and always deal with good people you can trust.
Hi, I'm Dallas, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. You know she loves her Shane Company engagement ring, but you also want to surprise her for her birthday, anniversary, or just because she deserves it. Why not get her a bigger diamond with our easy trade-up program? We'll give you the full credit of your original natural diamond purchase toward a new one. Her new diamond only has to be $1 more. You only pay the difference. How's that for an easy trade-up? Visit us in-store or at shaneco.com. Because a friend wants you to win the gifting game. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Take advantage of the nice fall weather and schedule your consultation with the outdoor living specialists at Powell Exteriors KC so you can enjoy the weather in style and comfort. Imagine watching football on your new deck, protected from the elements, and you'll have the confidence of Powell Exterior KC's 10-year workmanship warranty, easy financing, and pay no interest until 2027. Go to PowellExteriorsKC.com today and experience the power of KC's exterior experts.
J. Rieger & Co. Straight Bourbon Whiskey, winner of Best Craft Bourbon at the 2025 Ascot Awards. At 90 proof, it's rich, well-balanced, and oh so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. We've got a wreck up north, Liberty 35, southbound the on-ramp from 69. Be prepared to tap your brakes there. Also still working down south is the crash 435 eastbound past Knoll in the left lane. The world's coming to KC in 2026. Is your parking lot ready? Faded lines, potholes, unsafe sidewalks. Gann Asphalt and Concrete is your winning team. One contractor, all things parking lot. GannAsphalt.com. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Chris Jones from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, so Joe Flacco was asked a couple of days ago if he liked the nickname the Icy Hot Bowl. Today we have two quarterbacks who are at least 40 years old going against each other, so people have dubbed this the Icy Hot Bowl. While he was answering the question, one of his teammates came by and said, it's the Unk Bowl. So I guess a two-part question here. The first question is, which one do we like more? Do we like the Icy Hot or the Unk Bowl? And when I was telling this to Rob said that Joe Flacco can't be Unk, and he said the word Unk is two Americas. Rob, can you explain to us why you feel the term Unk is two Americas?
Now, I'm aware what the term Unk means, so it's not like outside my zeitgeist, but it is not a thing that I believe my America calls older people. We were in the newsroom earlier, and you asked this to Scott Parks, and Scott Parks looked at you like you had 7 heads. I don't believe people who are of that age in my America gets called Unk. So if you're asking me if it's the Unk Bowl or it's the Icy Hot Bowl, I would lean toward Icy Hot because I don't think it's a common expression in my America.
Okay, so now let me ask you this, and I'm not asking this to be funny. I genuinely don't know. Then what is the term that your America calls an older gentleman? So, for example, Shannon Sharp, he kind of goes by Unk. Mm-hmm. He's in his 50s. You call him Unk. That's kind of become a term of endearment. You know, that term, I would say, it used to be old school. Like when you see like a 45-year-old man, all right, old school, you give him a little bit of dap. Or you might give him the head nod. Now, I don't think your America is doing the head nod, at least not up. You might do the head nod down. You're not doing the head nod up. So I'm asking, when you see a wise 48-year-old man, if you're not calling him Unk or OG or old school, what are you calling the older gentleman in your life?
I don't know we have a term for it. I don't know we have a shorthand. I don't know we say Unk, or I don't know we have
you don't say OG, because that's a lot of people say that too. Like, that might be the term that you would consider somebody to be your mentor. Mm-hmm. I would say, yo, that's my OG.
Yeah, I don't know there is a one-for-one equivalent. When
a lot of people on the text line are saying old head. That's a term that you would call somebody. That's your old head.
I've heard old head. I've heard it used as an insult and a compliment, though. It's worked both ways.
See, I would say here, somebody said white people would say boomer. Like, I don't think you're calling, like, let's say.
Boomer is an insult, 100%.
Yeah, I agree. But I'm saying is like, let's say in this scenario, right? I think a lot of people have been in this scenario. You work in the service industry. And we all know in the service industry, people can be wide ranges. There can be the 25-year-old waitress, and there can be the 51-year-old cook in the back. The 25-year-old in my America might call the 51-year-old, hey, what's up, Unk? What's up, OG? You might say that.
By the way, the text line has sir. And the answer is sir. We use a lot of sir.
Sir is a good one.
Sir is the answer. I could not.
Sir is a good one.
Thank you to everyone on the text line. I could not think of that. Sir is probably the answer. Now, we only have the one term. We don't have Unk,
okay,
OG.
I'm with you.
We have
you.
sir.
Someone just said we just used the name that their mama gave them. I think what I'm starting to realize is you guys just don't ever come up with slang. You just wait for us to come up with the slang, and then you take the slang.
100%.
That's what it sounds like to me, because if you don't have words for these things, and we do have words for all of these things, you just wait for us to come up with them, and then you see the one that we like, and then you take it. Woke 10 years ago did not mean what woke means right now. Woke had a completely different meaning. The wrong person heard woke and now turns it into whatever they want it to be. Karen has a completely different meaning in 2025 than it had in 2015. What did you guys call that person before then? What did you call the white lady in line that feels very entitled? What did you call that person in 2015? You didn't call her a Karen.
We didn't call her a Karen.
For us to come up with that term.
I think probably there was, I'm trying to think of the term. There was a lot of like entitled housewife, that type of energy.
Ooh, a desperate housewife.
Desperate housewife.
Maybe that was the term. No, maybe that was it.
We definitely co-opted Karen. We stole that one.
Some people are saying they use the term boss. That actually sounds like a good one.
Yeah, but boss
What's
covers,
up, boss?
Boss covers a lot of people. Like if I got called boss by someone, I wouldn't be like, you're calling me old?
I was just asking. I was very curious. Somebody said yuppie. Ooh, someone said we used to call them soccer moms. That's yep. You know what? 100%. That might actually be a term that we come up with.
Mm-hmm. Soccer mom was a term.
Someone on the text line says, why would you call someone unk that's not your uncle? I would say that every black person has a person right now in their life that they call unk that's not their uncle. Like I have that person in my life. Every black person right now, if there is somebody like a close friend, a mentor, an OG, somebody in your life, there's somebody that you call unk. Yeah, it's become like a term of endearment, I would just say. That that is the term. Someone asked on the text line, so what do we call today's entitled black women? Cut the racist BS. I guess you guys would just call them a DEI hire. That's what I would imagine that you guys have decided to call that individual. Let me read this for you. Our Thursday night two-leg parlay is brought to you by Circa Sports. Sports betting the way it should be, coming soon to Missouri with Circa Sports. Very, very simple. I am going to give you DK Metcalf. I'm going to give you DK Metcalf for my anytime touchdown. That's what I like.
Ooh, that's not a bad one. I'm going to keep doing this every single week because I feel like the Thursday night games are bad every single week. I'm going to take the under. I know the Bengals can't score. I think
that's true.
I think the Steelers on a short week aren't exactly going to light up the scoreboard.
Give me Joe Flacco over on rushing yards. What's that? What's that?
By the way, if you parlay the DK anytime touchdown with my under, it's plus 480 right now on FanDuel.
Someone on the text line says, bro, is that term. I can actually see that. Bro. I'm with you. That's interesting. All right. I was very curious. Very, very curious. Someone says, do you call Fesco unk? I do not call Fesco unk. I like Fesco a lot. I just would not consider Fesco to be my OG. I wouldn't consider Fesco to be my mentor. So, no, I don't call Fesco unk in that way. I don't. That's a very interesting question. No, I like Fesco a lot.
I'm going to start calling Bink unk. Just out of nowhere. Just see what he does.
Unk. Hey, unk.
Unk, you pop in right now? He's going to look around like, what are you guys talking about?
Tomorrow, it's Red Friday. It's Raider Week. Take care of yourself. It's The Drive.